Peace, everybody. Peace. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, we're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you know, support the stream. Hit the like button. Go subscribe to my second channel. This first channel is under attack again. Support the stream any way you can. PayPal, Cash App. Hello? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, support the stream any way you can. We about to get started. Again, fire emojis. If you ain't got you can't support with money, support with a fire emoji. Also, make sure you liking the stream. Make sure you sharing the stream. All that good stuff. Yeah, we about to get started. We about to get started. What? Julius Malema is a Jew. Don't come in here trolling, please. When did Tariq say that? When did Tariq say he's glad that America voted against reparations? When did Tariq say that? Yeah, we about to get started. But when did Tariq say that, Anton? Shout out to Benevolence for the fire emoji. Shout out to RS7RV for the fire emoji. You already know how we're doing. Yeah, we about to get started. Family, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. We're about to get started right now. We're gonna get started. So let me stop this. Peace to everybody in the building. Also, again, like I said, make sure you subscribing to my second channel. My channel is under attack. I might not even be able to go live from this channel, but you'll be able to find me on that other channel. Salute, Lord of Slaughter. Peace, peace, peace to everybody in the building. Peace, Dread, Nasty, Tactical. Peace. Yeah, I don't remember that. So yeah, if you can find it and send it to me, email it to me. All the links in the description box below. That would be great. But yeah, we're about to get started right now. For all you who don't know, let me share my screen. Can y'all see this? Yeah, let me hide this. For all y'all who don't know, the Virginia Supreme Court just overturned the gerrymandered map, the redistrict map. Excuse me. For all you who don't know, the Virginia Supreme Court just overturned the redistrict map that the people of Virginia voted for. See, I was telling people like this. I was telling people when we was talking about how when the Voting Rights Act got gutted and people was like, "Oh, don't worry, the Democrats are redistricting." I said, "There's no guarantee that the courts would even allow for the Democrats to redistrict the way the Republicans are doing." And people said, "I don't know what I'm talking about. There's no mechanism to stop them." And I said, we live in the era of we in Jim Crow 2.0. We live in the era of I'm white and I say so. What makes you think that they can't do this? They can't. I said, hopefully not, but they can do it just via I'm white and I say so. And that's what we're getting right now. Because as you can see on your screen, it's been rejected. They shot it down. They shot that map down. But let's see what Trump got to say about that.
And I wasn't happy with the person. I had somebody that I very strongly endorsed. He won by a lot, and I wasn't happy with the person who was there previously. So it was a great victory. We had a lot of great victories. We had a big victory today in Virginia, as you know, and we have a lot of victories. But the victory in Iraq was really great. And somebody that I very strongly.
Yep, that definitely was a victory for the right wing in Virginia. Let's see what Cal got to say about this.
Day in and day out, you find new ways. But as I've told you 1,000 times over, we're going to have to make it too big to rig in this upcoming election because they are breaking out all of the fucking stops. So Republican states can gerrymander to help them, but Democratic states can't gerrymander to help them. Really? That's what we're doing here? I mean, day in and day out, you find new ways in which they're fucking cheating, overturning the Voting Rights Act, taking away, like stripping black people's voting rights. Are you fucking kidding me? The year's 2026 and we're rolling the clock back to the fucking early 1960s? What a disgusting, disgusting joke. Holy shit, man. So if you can't tell, I'm fired up over this. I'm disgusted by this. If I'm being honest, I think that these Republican judges on the Virginia Supreme Court, I think there should be protests directly outside their house. I think they shouldn't be able to go anywhere without people screaming in their face and calling them disgusting sellouts, calling them criminals, calling them pigs. I think that's what should happen. I think people should peacefully protest right outside of their houses. I think they should go to sleep worrying, oh my goodness, what's going on here? Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be safe? I guess I need extra security. I want these people to understand how disgusting they are to the rest of us. That this democracy has been piss on and shit on and destroyed by a bunch of Republican MAGA psychopaths and freaks. I have no respect for these people at all. None whatsoever. They're a demonic, satanic, evil party. That's what they are, and that's what they're doing. They're rigging the system because they know if it was free and fair, Democrats would be in there in a blue tsunami like nobody's ever seen before. God, I'm so sickened by these people.
I couldn't have said it better, but Kyle, you and your lefty cohorts helped bring this about too. I'm not gonna hold you, but yes, this is what we're seeing right now. Let's see what AOC also.
Million Americans. This Virginia was an election of 3 million Americans. This court did not overturn a map. It overturned an election. An election. And when we talk about the balance of power and a system of checks and balances, it's one thing for a court to check a legislature or an executive, but the end all and be all of power in America should be the people. Elections. Virginia was.
Couldn't have said it better. And you're right, Regina. You're right. The online left helped bring this about. Shout out to her mistress. Yeah, you made it just in time. Yeah, the online left helped bring this about. They helped bring this about. This is what I told people this was going to happen. I had people on that Vosh video arguing me down that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was stupid because I said that the Republicans are gerrymandering and the Democrats might not be able to do it the same way. They kept saying I didn't know what I was talking about. They kept saying there's no mechanism for the courts to say that gerrymandering for the Democrats is wrong, but gerrymandering for the Republicans is okay. And I told them, you don't know what you're talking about. Mind you, it was a bunch of white lefties arguing with me. They again, online lefties, they didn't even know what they was talking about. They didn't know. Because again, a lot of them are young and they don't understand I'm white and I say so. They don't understand how vicious white supremacy could be. That's why you putting it in a position of power, thinking you're gonna, all right, we're gonna do accelerationism. We're gonna let them win, get all the power, let them collapse in on themselves because they suck, and then we're gonna rule, and then we're gonna rise up from the ashes like a phoenix and rule over everything. There's no guarantee it was gonna go like that. No guarantee. And as we're seeing right now, it's not going like that. Shout out to everybody in the building. Matter of fact, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's see what yeah, let's go to this.
Today, the Virginia State Supreme Court struck down the congressional redistricting approved by Virginia voters 17 days ago. It is a big blow to democracy as voters there opted for this new map, but it's also a blow to the Democratic Party ahead of the 2026 midterms.
Yes, remember, people voted for this map. Nobody voted for all this other gerrymandering that you see the Republicans doing. They're just doing it. The people voted for this map. The people of Virginia said they wanted this map.
As they seek to counter the GOP efforts to gerrymander themselves in a victory at the behest of Donald Trump. In a statement, Virginia's Attorney General Jay Jones said this, quote, "Today, the Supreme Court of Virginia has chosen to put politics over the rule of law. This decision silences the voices of the millions of Virginians who cast their ballots in every corner of the Commonwealth. And it fuels the growing fears across our nation about the state of our democracy. My team is carefully reviewing this unprecedented order, and we are evaluating every legal pathway forward to defend the will of the people and protect the integrity of Virginia's elections." As California Governor Gavin Newsom put it on social media, quote, "No vote in Tennessee, +1 GOP seat. No vote in Florida, +4 GOP seats. No vote in Missouri, +1 GOP seat. No vote in North Carolina, +2 GOP seats. No vote in Texas, +5 GOP seats. Virginia's voter-approved maps thrown out. MAGA has rigged the system." And at the same time.
And yeah, that's what I was saying. They rigged the system. Benevolence, they will rule in the end. I think you're talking about the lefties. They will only rule, quote unquote, in the end if MAGA doesn't keep rigging the system like this. This is what I kept telling people before, even going back to Joe Biden. I said Joe Biden's gonna win the election. The only way, but there's no guarantee that Joe Biden's gonna get into office because Trump might steal the election. That's the same thing I said about what I said this whole accelerationist, this whole lefty nonsense about it doesn't matter if the Republicans get power, they're gonna collapse in on themselves, and then we're just gonna ride in and it's gonna be a blue wave and we're gonna win everything. That's only if they don't cheat. That's why I keep saying, like, yeah, the lefties will win, but that's only if MAGA don't cheat. That's only if they don't cheat, which is what they're gonna do. That's what in fact, I said it wrong. Not only if they don't cheat. No, they're gonna cheat. Only if they're not successful in cheating. I said it wrong. Only if they're not successful in cheating. They're going to cheat. Like I said, there's no question that Trump was going to try to rig the election against Joe Biden. The only question was he going to be successful in his cheating? Like, there's no guarantee that Trump is going to leave office in 2029. There's no guarantee that there's going to be an election in 2028. There's no guarantee that Trump is not going to be on a ballot in 2028. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Like, they picked the wrong Republican to play the accelerationist game with. If this was George Bush, it would have made more sense. This was Ronald Reagan, this would make more sense. Nixon, make more sense. But not Trump. Not Trump, especially not second-term Trump. They did this to themselves. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got like 50 people in the building. Make sure y'all supporting the stream. Make sure y'all sending them fire emojis. Do all that. Here we go.
As Virginia's democratically passed maps have been blocked, Republican state legislatures are moving full steam ahead in passing maps specifically designed to eliminate majority Black congressional districts without consulting their voters at all. It happens after the U.S. Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act earlier this week. Today in South Carolina, senators debated a proposal that would allow a special redistricting session to go forward that would eliminate the state's only black district held by longtime Congressman Jim Clyburn. While in Alabama today, a protester was removed from the...
Yeah, as I heard, Jim Clyburn, the most powerful black man in the history of the Congress. Right now, you got South Carolina coming together to remove his seat. The amount of power and influence and clout that Jim Clyburn wields cannot be replaced, even with 10 senators. Excuse me, not 10 senators. 10 black Congress people. That's how powerful Jim Clyburn is. And they about to get rid of his seat. It's done. Like, not only are they going to basically get rid of like half the CBC, but they're going to get rid of the most powerful person in the CBC. Where's black power, political power at now? Where do we go from here? Shout out to the Lord of Slaughter for setting it off with the 199. Much appreciated, bro. Everybody, remember, you can support the stream. Help me reach my goal. That's what helps keep me going. Again, if you can't support, PayPal, Cash App. Because if you don't want to be seen in the super chat, PayPal, Cash App. And if you can't support like that, thumbs up, share the stream, fire emojis. Let's get back to this.
The gallery at the legislature by state troopers there as lawmakers debated a bill to facilitate redistricting in that state. It was signed into law earlier today. In Tennessee, lawmakers have already approved new maps which abolish the state's only majority black district. While Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson called it, quote, a political lynching that violated the rights of every Tennessean. Here he is on the floor of the State House.
This state has legislated and legalized the worst things in humanity, including our enslavement, and we are still here. Right in this country where, as one black woman said, your ancestors enslaved us, denied us of our rights, called us 3/5 of a person, and yet we are still here. You put us on cotton plantations and tobacco plantations. You denied our human rights and our right to exist as children of God, and we are still here. You destroyed Tulsa. You killed and lynched black folks on poplar trees. Shelby County, Tennessee had the most lynchings of anywhere in this state where you're taking this district, and we are still here. You've had 3 strikes laws, mass incarceration, denied us of who we are, and we are still here. And today you will take the only majority black district from us. But I want you to know, and I want my nephew, sons, and the future to know, no matter what you do, no matter how much you try and break us and make us bend and make us quit, we will still be here.
We will still be here. That message, that delivery of that message, that articulation of resilience and resistance on a day in which democracy took a very serious hit is where we start the hour with Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost of Florida. And joining me at the table, host of Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Rev, let me start with you.
Yeah, let me look at the chat real quick. Yeah, shout out to Lord of Slaughter again for setting it off with the 199. Yep, Henry, the Virginia Supreme Court just said redistricting is wrong. You can't do it. Nonsense. Thank you for the fire emojis. Logos Black. What you mean that they cowards begging for integration? That don't even sound right. Because right now, it's only 2 choices: integration or segregation. And I don't care how much you against quote unquote integration, segregation is worse. Remember, nobody's pro-segregation. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not pro-segregation. Yeah, let's keep it going.
I think that we are seeing the end of the second Reconstruction. the rawness and insensitivity that is being done shows that these people.
Oh, look, they're using the term Jim Crow 2.0, a term that I coined and I said was going to happen if Trump won the first term. I've been saying that for like, what, 10 years now? And now we here, people catching up to me. We in Jim Crow 2.0.
Are deliberately saying
160 years of struggle down the drain, up in smoke. Can't make this up.
That as we call on the world to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, the very principles that we claim the country has started, because everybody in the country was not same status. Blacks were slaves 250 years ago. Women couldn't vote. But we're not even going to pretend during this anniversary that this is about democracy. We are going to, as it was put up by Governor Newsom, we're going to, with no votes, change what we want. And if the people in Virginia vote, we'll just flip it over in the Supreme Court. So we are approaching this 250th anniversary at more like King George than we are like those that signed the Declaration of Independence, because they're saying that might is right, we're going to rule no matter what, and we're going to use race as one of the ways that we're going to whip everybody in line. I might remind people the black majority district in Tennessee is represented by white. Blacks vote for whites, blacks vote for blacks. So it's not like just black representation. The congressman in Tennessee, the black district, is white. In fact, I'm having them on the show this weekend, and Justin, who's running against him.
Yep, that's a fact. Wait, somebody said something. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was about black separation, not segregation. See, this is the game. Again, y'all don't know the difference between segregation and separation. Separation is two equals going their own way. Segregation is a superior telling an inferior where they can and cannot go, what they can and cannot do. See, what we're dealing with right now is we're going back to Jim Crow 2.0. We're going back to Jim Crow, right? We're going back to Jim Crow, which means what are we dealing with? Segregation. Segregation. We're going back into segregation. You cannot celebrate this. This is us going back into segregation. This is why, again, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told people to leave Martin Luther King alone, because even though he didn't agree with his stance of integration, because they was for separation, they understood that they both was fighting against a common evil, which is segregation. And anything is better than segregation. Hell, you could get separation from integration, but you can't get, but it's really hard to get separation from segregation. What are you talking about? First of all, I'm black. Second of all, you are advocating, because you are advocating for segregation. See, you saying we want our own land. What is celebrating what's going on right here, helping black people get their own land? Explain, Logos Black. Explain how you gonna get your own land now that white people got all the power. Explain that now. A bunch of racist white people that not only don't want you to have no power, but don't want you to have freedom neither. You think the Trump administration is going to let black people just go off and have their own land and just let that ride? That's more likely to happen under Joe Biden than it would under Donald Trump. Like, explain to yourself how Donald Trump is going to let that happen. The Trump administration that opened the door for people to sue to stop black people from having anything. Explain. Inquiring minds want to know. Explain. You're gonna have to explain. Explain to me, how do you get how you get separation from this point? How do you do it? Because you were advocating for segregation. Don't say you wasn't. You was. Because I don't know if that's what you don't understand. That's what you was doing, but that's what you was doing. You were attacking people, talking about begging for integration. It wasn't begging for integration. They fighting to keep the rights that we already obtained. That's not begging for nothing. You got to explain, how do we get where you want us to get right now? You are celebrating it. Not like this, talking about they've been in power. Not like this. See, this is the game. People keep pretending like, oh, whites being in power is like the same. It's just the same across the board. We can get a reservation. Are you stupid? You think what do you think? You think black people gonna live good on a reservation? You think if you let the Trump administration put the black population on reservation, they're gonna live good? See, this is the nonsense. This is the nonsense. Again, you don't even want your own country. You want to be segregated. You want to be segregated on a reservation where the white man still has power over you. You do know on the reservation, the U.S. government still got power over the Native Americans. You know they're not sovereign, right? You do know that, right? See, this is, again, Negro segregationalism. This is Negro segregationalism, what you pushing. Black people could be on a reservation. See? Again, Negro segregationalism. And look what you said. You just exposed yourself. You just exposed yourself as an FBA bozo who promoting segregation. Who promote, because you just, look what you just said. Look what you just said. That's not what you said right here. Look what you just said. Black people getting put on a reservation. You think that's an act of power to get put on a reservation? That's segregation. You think the Native Americans wanted to be on a reservation? Or they wanted to be on their land? Remember, the Native Americans who live on the reservation in Oklahoma, a lot of them was from the East Coast. They was from Georgia. It was from Georgia down to South Carolina. No, it's South Carolina down to Georgia. They was from the East Coast, right there. They was forcibly removed from where they were living and put on a reservation in Oklahoma. You think that's cute if the U.S. government forcefully segregates black people onto a reservation in Wyoming or something? You think that's power? You think that's power? Do you think that's power? Like, answer the question. Is that power? Is that power? A reservation is not a country. See, this is why we in the position we in right now. These niggas is this stupid. They gave all the power to the most racist, hateful, bigoted white people in the country. And they think that somehow they gonna get, it doesn't matter because we can have our own. And when you ask them, what is our own? Our own is a reservation in the United States of America, with a federal government ruling over us that we have no say-so in. But that's better than black people living wherever they want to live, making money however they want to make money, and having rights and having say-so in the federal government. This is how we get to this point. This is how we get to this point. You never ran a country. What country did you run? You said we can run a country? That's a whole lot of cap that we can run a country. A motherfucker stupid enough to put himself into enslavement can't run shit. And I want to say something too. If you can't be, we're gonna quote the Bible. If you can't be faithful over little things, you can't be faithful over big things. People who have not demonstrated they can run a community cannot convince me that they can run a country. We're gonna leave it like that. And we're gonna put you on timeout because you're crashing out. But again, explain to me, you can't even run a country. I mean, you can't even run a neighborhood, but you're going to convince me that you're going to successfully run a country. But again, a reservation is not a country. Native Americans don't have a country. They don't have a country. They don't have a country. This bozo said a reservation. These niggas is really, this is why I said, he's probably young. That's why I really do what I do, because I'm tired of these niggas poisoning the mind of the youth. They got the youth really thinking that Native Americans is living sweet on a reservation. They think every Native American lives in a mansion, owns a casino. Like, they really believe that shit. They really believe that shit. No, I ain't see it yet, but you know, I'll get to it. I'll get to that when I could get to that. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the building. We got over 70 people in the building. Yes, advocating to live on a reservation and making it seem like that's somehow separation. That's somehow independent. That's what I told you about these dudes. These dudes is Negro segregationalists, but they try to pass that shit off as black separation. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad never advocated for something like that. Even when they was trying to work to get a county for black people, that was them having some type of autonomy. But at the still and all, black people were still going to still had say so. It wasn't they was like autonomous. They would have some level of autonomy because black voters would be able to vote for the policies that they wanted. So they would be able to have say so in that county. That's different than a reservation. Like, how much say so do you think Native Americans have on those reservations? They don't got as much say so as, let's say, a group of black people living in Atlanta. I'll tell you that. They don't got as much autonomy and much power as black people living in Atlanta. But yeah, we got to keep going. That was crazy. Niggas sitting up here advocating for Negro segregationalism as power. But let's keep going.
So, I mean, the whole idea of us bringing the country together, they're ripping the shreds and they're doing it gleefully and they're doing it openly. The question is, will we be able to come with the same force that our forefathers did?
What does that even look like right now?
I think you've got to organize and mobilize. There are groups. I've been on the phone all day with National Action Network and NAACP head and others. We need to be doing everything from the streets to doing local decentralized organizing. If you must remember, Nicole, Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer, all of them that brought us to Voting Rights Act, they didn't have the techniques that we have. They didn't have social media. Martin Luther King never knew what a cell phone was. Never had email.
Is that better, though, that people were together and they were in the streets? And
it was better if we're not using more ways to communicate. Mm-hmm. I think our challenge is that if they didn't have the options we have to organize, then that means that we are falling down on the job, not that the job is insurmountable. They were getting lynched. Goodman, Cheney, Swerner, Viola Louisa, all of them were killed for trying to get the right to vote. We're talking about we may miss a day or two of relaxation at home. There is no excuse, blacks, whites, and everybody else, not to be on the front lines trying to save democracy. Not just for blacks. They're going to do it all across the board. They're only going to start with us.
Congressman, you're one of your party's best communicators.
Shout out to everybody in the building. When did that happen, Anton? When did they threaten to rape him? Like, I gotta see that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, let's get back to this. Yeah, mind you, that's something that RFK was advocating for right now. Currently, RFK is advocating, saying that that a segment of the black population should be put in camps where they will grow their own food and they won't have access to the internet to help them with help them with their mental. RFK is currently advocating for that. And I bet you these bozos will be like, yeah, we'll have our own land. Yes, they don't even know what Black Wall Street is. This is what I'm saying. These people have poisoned the youth. Got all these young people running around here thinking that segregation was good, black people live better under Jim Crow, that Black Wall Street was really Wakanda. Like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. Like, again, I'm cool with black separation. I'm not cool with Negro segregation. Like, if you want to talk about black people getting their own land, getting their own country, moving out, I'm cool with that. But I am not cool with nobody acting like they talking like that just for you to keep going in the conversation. And what they do, talk about they just Negro segregationalism. You said let you up. Why would I let you up to advocate for segregation? You're not advocating for what the NOI wanted. You just said you want to be on a reservation like a Native American. The NOI never wanted to be on no damn reservation. Tell me one time the Honorable Elijah Muhammad advocated for being on a reservation. You said that. And I'm not going to allow you to move from that point. You said that. Stay mad. You're still blocked. You can't comment in the comment section, and I'm not talking to you no more. Yeah, because you already exposed yourself. You said you wanted to be on a reservation, so you can't talk no black separation to me. Never in a day ever did the NOI ever advocate to be on no damn reservation. They wanted to buy land. They know that's a whole different hit. They wanted black people to have their own country. That's a whole different hit. Look, you still advocating for a reservation. Res ain't gotta be terrible. That's over. That's over. You still advocating for, like, again.
And I wonder what your thoughts are today and what your message is to the country.
My heart is heavy for the country because we see that this is going on all across the South. And it's important for people to realize that this isn't happening in a vacuum. This isn't a plan that just came up because Donald Trump said to go redistrict. This is the product of a 60-plus year plan to bring this country into Jim Crow 2.0, an era where they've traded in the hoods for suits and ties, an era where they are trying to use our democracy against us to take away not just our right to vote, but our right to protest, our right to privacy, our right to health care, our right to be able to actually have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this country. And they see the South as a threat. And that is the reason why some of the worst voter suppression tactics we see are in the South. Over 40% of this nation's Black residents live here. Most of this nation's civil rights and mass movement, people-centered movements started in the South. So we see that they put us right in the middle of the bullseye because they know that we will rise up and we will fight back.
I want to associate myself with the dog barking along with us.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. Don't ever apologize for the canines in your lives. I want to ask you, this has been we were talking before we came on the air. This has been a bleak week of news in terms of the anti-democratic forces sort of logging some legal victories and now taking those and ramming through gerrymandered maps. What is your message in terms of sort of dusting ourselves off and continuing the fight for democracy?
Well, the first thing I'll say is what our opposition wants us to do is throw our hands in the air and say there's nothing more left. There's nothing we can do. We shouldn't take part in this system. If we walk away from the fight, our adversaries and our opposition, they are more than happy to step into our political power for us. So we can't run away. That is what they want. We have to continue to fight. And now we understand that we have to do it in very creative ways. And I love what the Reverend had brought up. It's all about grassroots organizing and making sure that we're going out into the communities and empowering people. And we have to understand, and I think this is important because what I'm about to say might be misconstrued. We have to understand that we asked people to go to the ballot box to protect democracy, and the Supreme Court said, we're throwing it out. We have to understand that as a result of that, a lot of people are going to feel like it doesn't matter anymore. Us as organizers, us as leaders, understanding that isn't so that way we give up, but so we understand in the way that we message that we have to validate the root of our people's concern. Yes, this is a broken system. Yes, I understand that you might not feel great about our democracy right now because they're trying to break it. It will bend, but we will be the ones to ensure that it doesn't break. And I think that acknowledgement going forward is important. We can't gaslight people who have seen what have been going on, especially in the South over the last 100 years. But we have to say that we are not unique in this moment. Like the Reverend brought up, our ancestors have been here before, those before us, with less at their disposal, and they did a lot with less. and we can do the same thing. And what I do believe there's going to be a moment where we're looking back on this era, and that we're thankful that we kept marching and that we kept moving forward. But it's going to take all of us, and it's going to take elected officials. And I have to say this. Elected officials need to stop just trying to knock doors and organize 3 months before election day. Year round. Don't be raising money and keeping it in an account for some race that might come. Spend it year round on the doors, community events, building power so we win not just the next election, but the next 10. That's what the right wing has done in the South. They don't make short-term plans. They make long-term plans. And I think it's important that we do the same. And if we do that, I believe we can win.
Yes, I do believe we can win one day because, again, it ain't going to be today. Not going to be in the short term, but we can win. Shout out. We got over 80 people in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hitting that like button. Make sure you sharing the stream. Make sure you sending fire emojis if you can't donate. But if you can donate, PayPal, Cash App, again, that's if you don't want to be seen or you just want to send it that way. Or the super thanks. I take it all. Yes, Tabitha. Crazy things that the FBAs bozo say. And this dude is emailing me right now claiming that he's not FBA. And he's one of the biggest, and he's one of the people who fight Tariq the hardest. Yet he's on here calling me a tether. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Oh, thank you, Anton. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. And I think that we should, that makes sense for us to go to our next topic. Yeah, let's go to our next topic. Let's go to our next topic right here. Shout out to everybody in the building. I want to touch on this. I saw this. I didn't watch this video. Again, you know I'm not watching this, but Tariq probably is going to have a debate with somebody about the Great Migration. And I'm going to just say it right now. The Great Migration is the same as fleeing. It is the same. That's why they refer to people from the Great Migration and people who got chased out the South as refugees. For all you who don't know, refugee just means to flee. That's what it means. It means to flee. It doesn't matter where you fled from. If you fled from somewhere, you are a refugee. If somebody chased you from one side of the town to the other side of the town, and you got to live on that other side, and you can't come back to that other the side you got chased from because you fear for your life, and you can only go back when they let you come back, you are a refugee. No different if you get chased across the country. No different if you get chased across the continent. No different if you get chased across the globe. No different. That's why they use the word refugee. Again, if you go back and look at the contemporary sources that talked about this era, they use the word refugee. The word Great Migration is literally, the phrase Great Migration is basically a sanitized term for the great ethnic cleansing of Black people out the South. But let's let Tariq talk, because I think that's exactly where they're going with this video.
Hold on, who is this person? Still got him. All right, still got him. Hop on in. Mr. Still got him.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. Yeah. So I'm over in the UK.
Yes.
Obviously, I've been watching you, spoke to you a few times. Do you think that Black unity around diaspora will be better than delineation? And if not, why is delineation better? And I'm not attacking you. Just want to know your perspective.
I don't take it as an attack at all.
I want to hear this part. Matter of fact, let's see. Yeah, so we here, so we might as well listen to it.
Delineation doesn't mean lack of unity. All right.
Now, delineation doesn't mean lack of unity. The whole point of delineation is that you didn't want to be connected to other groups because they bring all this bad stuff to the country. Like, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. That's the whole point of delineation, is to not be connected to other groups of Black people. So now it doesn't mean lack of unity. This nigga just say anything, chicken butt fucking mouth. Say anything. Say A today, B tomorrow, C the day after that. You never know what's going to come out this nigga mouth. Chicken butt mouth. You don't know. Like, for all you don't know, shout out to the med head doctor. I got that from him. A chicken only got one hole. The chicken laid eggs out that hole. A chicken poops out that hole. And a chicken pees out that hole. So every time a chicken squat down, you never know what's going to come out. An egg, a poop, or a pee. You don't know what's ever going to come out his mouth. You could ask Tariq the same thing, every day, and you never know what his answer gonna be. You never know.
Can still be unified and respect everybody's ethnic backgrounds.
Shout out to Red Pill Zulu. Oh yeah, Red Pill Zulu. We get into that. I'm happy you in the building. We get into that. Mandela. Julius. I can't even talk. I'm about to say Mandela. Julius Malema's speech after this. Oh my God. But yeah, thank you for the 20. Shout out to you for supporting and sending that 20, helping me get closer to my goal. Oh yeah, they definitely about to see that. They about to see that. Remember, they said they wasn't scared of Project 2025, and they wasn't scared of Trump, and they wasn't scared of Republicans, and they wasn't scared of white nationalism. Now it's time to be about it. Because now you ain't gonna be able to vote your way out of all this stuff that we going through right now. Ain't no simple, oh, we just gonna elect somebody. No. Elections ain't gonna get you out of this. Remember, y'all been saying elections don't matter anyway. So now it's your time to prove it. It's your time to prove it now. This ain't time to prove it.
That's what unity is about. It's respecting everybody for who they are, not trying to collapse somebody into a generic ethnic group that they're not. You know what I'm saying? It's all about respecting everybody's ethnicity and respecting who they are and coming together with those differences and having a common cause and just respecting each other. So yeah, delineation don't mean that we don't rock with people. We're still cool. I can speak for me. I'm cool with Africans. I'm cool with Caribbeans. I still go to Africa. I still go to the Caribbean and have a good time. But I'm a foundational Black American. I'm not going to go over there and cosplay. I'm a foundational Black American.
You see, Tariq, when you said that, yeah, every syllable that you said, I agree with. When you talk like that, I'm with you 100% because
I'm happy the person is. I think he's going to acknowledge that. Yeah. He said he's with Tariq when he talks like that, but he's going to say that Tariq doesn't always talk like that, which is true. That's why I call him the chicken butt mouth.
One should reserve the right to have pride in their ethnic group and to have their ethnic group be demarcated and stand out. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyone speaking against that is actually anti-Black.
Right.
But my only pushback against you personally is your attack on Africans and Caribbean people. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Attack how?
Attack how? Like,
yeah,
all of the things all of the comments you come out with, the
like
anti-African comments, like the million comments you come out of Musky, what do you say? Musky, Egusi, Tevers, even that Tever, like a Tever's a fucking fishing hook, man.
Right, sir.
That's crazy.
Sir, that's called getting roasted. That's a part of foundational Black American culture.
That's not getting roasted. You're literally advocating and pushing hate. That's not roasting. That's like saying when gangs talk about each other and use derogatory terms for each other, that's just roasting. That's not just roasting. That's like saying what Chud the Builder is doing is just roasting. And roasting is a part of American culture. Or he's just participating in foundational Black American culture. He's just roasting. It doesn't mean anything. It's just jokes. When you calling people tethers, that's not a joke. That's not a joke. You just made that up. Like, it's not a joke. Wait, who is this? You said move to blue state, problem solved. That's not problem solved. That's not problem solved. I don't know if you know this. Like, again, people don't understand this. The Republican Party is a monolith. It's just the Trump Party. The Democratic Party is not a monolith. It's a big tent that got even bigger. And there's multiple factions in it. And a lot of them factions are anti-Black. And a lot of those anti-Black factions are now in power. Or more powerful than ever before. This is the problem. People think that when they think Democrat, they're thinking of 2010s liberal. You're not gonna be dealing with the 2010s liberal from this point on. You're gonna be dealing with the 2020s class reductionists. Whole different hit. But let's get back to this.
Everybody gets roasted, sir. That's a part of our culture.
No, but bro, I understand roasting. Roasting for me, maybe your definition of roasting. That roasting for me is I cuss you, you cuss you back. I make a joke, ha ha, jokes on you. That's roasting. That's what we do. Roasting. We do it in the playground. That's roasting. But what you're doing is like anti-Africanism. You do it all the time.
It's
I'm just
roasting,
thinking like,
sir. Sir, it is roasting. It ain't anti-nothing. Nobody's more anti-African than people who fled from Africa. Y'all never over there. Y'all over there in the UK. Y'all everywhere else but there. Nobody.
Oh, I think this is the part where he's talking about fleeing. I think this is the part when he's talking about fleeing. Let's see. Let's bring that back a little bit.
More anti-African than people who fled from Africa. Y'all never over there. Y'all over there in the UK. Y'all everywhere else but there. Nobody.
okay, here we go.
That,
when you say fled Africa, okay, do you know what fleeing is? Okay, so you see when you say, you know, I don't like when black people use historical terms as weapons. So even when people say don't tap dancing was liberation. I find that disrespectful. When you say fleeing, people in America flee from the south to the north for prosperity. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
Nat
not
Turner
fleeing.
fled.
That's
no,
not
wait.
fleeing.
I know it's within the
that ain't fleeing.
country. I understand that.
You don't flee in your own country, sir.
Yes, you do. That is literally fleeing. Matter of fact, here we go. I found it. Can y'all see my screen? What is this? What is this? Matter of fact, let me go. You got to go back because this, yeah. Can y'all see my screen? What this guy saying? To the north. To the north. We got to find a better picture than that. A bigger one. Of the to the north one. What is he saying? To the north. To the north. He is fleeing out the south. This is the Great Migration in one picture. I'm going to find a bigger one. Let me see something. Let me find a bigger one. We got to find a bigger one. Oh, my God. Shout out to everybody in the building. But y'all can see it, right? This political picture is to the north. This is fleeing. This is fleeing. That's fleeing. Black people didn't leave the South because they wanted to. They left because they got chased out the South. That's fleeing. Like, again, that's fleeing. Well, we're going to find a bigger one right now. We're going to find a bigger one. Nope. Like, I don't understand why we can't find a bigger one. No. In the South. I think this is it right here. We found the bigger one. I'm gonna see it. Here we go. I'm switching to this one here. Here we go. What's it say? To the north. What is that? A white man lynching a black man and the other black man seeing it and he ain't helping. He's running away. And what does his briefcase say? Southern Negro. Southern Negro. Again, this is contemporary. This is contemporary. Again, the reason. Albert A. Smith. The reason. The crisis. The crisis was a black newspaper, by the way. March 1920. March 1920. 1920. That's fleeing. Hello? Can y'all hear me? Put one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Because I think my audio got messed up. Let's see. Stop sharing. That's fleeing. That's fleeing, bro. Like, don't ever let no FBA bozo tell you talk about fleeing, nigga. That's fleeing. That's fleeing. This, and mind you, a white person didn't make this. A black person made this. This is fleeing. This is black people being chased out. Chased out. That's fleeing. That is fleeing. You can flee. Matter of fact, oh my goodness, let me take this down. You can flee your own homeland. Again, like I said, the only entity that makes a legal distinction between fleeing outside of your country and fleeing to another part of your country is the United Nations. That's where they get the term internally displaced person. A refugee is somebody who flee out their country. An internally displaced person is somebody who flee to another part of their country. They're the only entity. And again, that's a relatively new distinction. And I know you don't want to go that route with it. You fled, bro. You fled. That's it. Also, yes, black people during slavery fled. Now that's, and mind you, that's why Tariq was saying Harriet Tubman and the people who ran away with her are not FBA because they fled. They fled. They ran. They ran. They didn't stand and fight like Nat Turner. They ran. And rightfully so. They ran. I would have been a runaway slave too. I wouldn't have tried to do no slave revolt. I probably would have ran. Only way I would have did a slave revolt if I would have saw it and thought like, yes, we got this. We can win. Otherwise than that, I'm out. Yes, exactly. Flee to the north and tell them that your name is freedman. That's fleeing. That's fleeing. Like, again, how do you compare somebody who's an immigrant? Mind you, people immigrate all over the world all the time for various reasons. How do you compare somebody who left a country or left somewhere on their own terms to go somewhere else to pursue a better life or to pursue an opportunity to somebody who was forced to leave through threat of violence to save their life? Like, you calling people who are immigrants, because again, some immigrants in this country are refugees, but not all of them. And again, you only reserve that talk for black ones. What about Italians who came to America? What about Irish who came to America? You don't call them fleers. You don't call them tethers. Again. Exactly. Tariq's still fleeing. That's immaterial. Y'all supposed to be your own ethnic group, right? The ethnogenesis happened in the South, right? That's where the ethnogenesis happened. Because y'all see I got an ethnogenesis, right? It happened in the South. Y'all fled out the South. Y'all fled. Y'all fled. Y'all didn't just leave for opportunities. Y'all didn't leave on your own accord. Y'all fled. Y'all got chased out the South. Chase. Like, the children of the people who chased y'all out the South are still alive today. That is 110% fleeing. So what this nigga doing on the screen right now? He ain't fleeing? He ain't fleeing? This nigga on the screen ain't fleeing. What he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? This ain't fleeing? So again, somebody who comes to America who got offered a job, because again, a lot of the immigrants y'all be seeing, the black immigrants y'all see in America, they got offered opportunities to come to America. They didn't just come. They got offered opportunities. Even back to the first major wave of immigrants coming to America, back in the 1920s, by the way, 1910s, by the way, was people from the Caribbean who the United States of America, the government, brought here, offered them opportunities and jobs and told them to come here. They didn't flee nowhere. You're right. We don't answer the fleers, and you the fleer. Who got chased out the South? I didn't get chased out the South. Yeah, I can put you on timeout now. Who got chased out the South? I didn't get chased out the South. I didn't get chased out the South. Nobody, no, nobody from my family ever went nowhere because of violence. Like I want to know. My mother didn't come to New York via violence. Through the threat of violence. Not my father neither. A product of fleers. Like, again, yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. I ain't never run from nobody. Talking about somebody fled. Who fled? Who fled? This is your ancestor right here. This is all you FBA bozos who live outside the South, even if you live in the South, because don't get it twisted. Black people got chased to different parts of the South. There are multiple black areas, white areas now in the South that got a black neighborhood, black area next to it, but the white area used to be the black area. And then they pushed the black people out of that area because they wanted it. That's fleeing, bro. That's fleeing. Let me. That's fleeing, bro. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, that's fleeing. That's getting chased out. That's getting chased out. Let's get back to Tariq though. And those black people got chased around the Mississippi too. A lot of black people in Mississippi live in different parts of the Mississippi than their ancestors did. And the reason that is because they got chased. I sound ridiculous. How do I sound ridiculous? So this ain't true. So this is a picture I made up. This is not real. This is not real. Matter of fact, we might have to go read some firsthand accounts of black people getting chased out and being referred to as refugees. We might have to do that. We're going to let Tariq keep talking, but we might have to do that. That's getting chased out. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the history. Get mad at the white man chased you out and you ain't do nothing about it to this day. Get mad at that. I ain't chased you, nigga. The white man did that. Yeah, it's a trick bag. Trick bag. It's a trick bag, family. They got chased out the South, man. The white man tricked them into thinking they didn't get chased out the South by calling it the Great Migration. Does that look like a migration to you? Again, back to that picture. Does that look like that guy is migrating or he look like he's fleeing? That's the trick bag. Using the word Great Migration to describe that time period is the trick bag. It's the trick bag. How is that a migration? That is not a migration. That's like calling the Trail of Tears a migration. That's like calling the Trail of Tears a migration. That's like calling like what? That's like calling the Armenian genocide a migration. That's a migration too. Everything a damn migration. What happened to the Armenians? Why they not here no more? Oh, they migrated. They migrated. They migrated. What happened to the Poles? Germany? Oh, they migrated. What happened? Oh, they migrated. What happened to the Jews? They migrated. Trick bag, family. But let's get back to this.
I understand that, but hang on.
No. You hang on. You don't flee in your own country. This is our country.
I said that. I agree.
And the funny part is, you can flee in your own country. Like people from Northern Ireland flee to London. They all in the same country, the UK. The UK is one country. But anybody who comes from Northern Ireland, an Irish person from Northern Ireland trying to move to London for a better life is looked at as somebody who fled. Like, why don't you go back to where you from? Remember, even at this time, black people from the North looked at Southerners like go back to the South. Go back down South. Get out of here. Don't flee here. Go stay in the South and fight. Don't flee up here. That's a fact. That's a fact. Even black people at the time saw the black people leaving out the South as fleers, as refugees. They were referred to as such in newspaper articles. You can't flee in your own country. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Again, like we explained, the term refugee originally meant anybody meant just to flee. It didn't matter where you fled to. If you got chased out, you got chased out. The only entity that makes a distinction between getting chased out to a different part of your country and getting chased out your country is the United Nations, and that is a relatively new distinction.
It ain't fleeing.
You didn't let me
because we go back and forth. We go back and forth to the South. We didn't flee the South. We went and got jobs.
They didn't go back and forth. They came back when the coast was clear. Let's not play games. And some of them never came back at all. And some came back when the coast was clear. Like let's not do that. People wasn't going back and forth during that time when that guy had that suitcase, Southern Negro fleeing to the South. Let's keep it going.
Jobs and went back and forth. Still have our family there.
When you say flee,
okay, you're talking over me. We're not gonna do that.
He's not talking over you. He's about to explain to you because you saying fleeing. Being an immigrant and fleeing is not the same thing. You know that, Tariq. You're dumb, but you're not that dumb.
All right, cool, bro. Go ahead.
Let's slow down now, because you're talking over me.
It's cool, brother. You were having a cordial conversation. I'm listening.
Yes, indeed. All right. We're not going to do that, though. All right. But yeah, we don't flee. We didn't flee the South. We got the same racial hostility in the North that we got in the South. What were we fleeing from?
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
We weren't fleeing from nothing. We were still dealing with the same National Guard, the same thing. We just went where better jobs were at the
When
time.
you
But go
say
ahead.
fleeing, okay, when I hear the word fleeing, I'm taking that as if to mean I'm running away from hardship to go somewhere else. I'm running for my life.
Which is exactly what you did.
Nobody in my
That's what
family
you-
fled because they had
Sir,
money to try. Wait, stop speaking, sir.
Okay,
We
hold
had-
on, sir. You fled. You're not in your homeland. You guys
That's
are
not called
ashamed.
fleeing. That's called migrating. That's not fleeing.
That's fleeing, sir.
No, it's called migrating.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, I didn't watch this video beforehand, but again, it's obvious to a duck to try to refute the stuff that FBA says. Like, again, that's migration. That's not fleeing. That other stuff is fleeing.
And you can try to pretty it up. That's still fleeing. You're not going back.
Okay,
you're not going to build it up. See, you're embarrassed by the fact that you had to flee.
No, I'm embarrassed that a black man has to use that term to weaponize. Like I was saying before,
No, it's not a weapon, sir.
it is a weapon because
Sir,
you're using.
you're embarrassed by having to leave your homeland. There's a deep insecurity that a lot of you guys have for having to flee your homeland. You flee. Literally, y'all be on inner tubes, sir. That's not migrating. That's fleeing. You literally risk your life to get the hell out of there. That's called fleeing, sir. All right? You can pretty it up if you want to. That's
Again, yeah, people who do that, they are fleeing. But everybody who came, all black immigrants are not, that's not their story. Just like there was already black people in the North. They didn't flee nowhere. So we can't say all black people was fleers because there's black people already in the North. They didn't flee. They didn't flee to the North. But the ones coming from the South, yeah, they fled. Just the same thing with black immigrants. There are black immigrants who are here on refugee status because they did have to flee a war zone. But there are others who came here willingly on their own. They just migrated. That's it.
I'm not being anti anything, sir. There's videos of y'all on inner tubes, planks, doing whatever you can to get up out of there. That ain't migrating, sir. That's fleeing.
Okay, Tariq Nasheed, can I explain something to you?
Yes,
see the
sir.
YT media. When the YT media shows things, you know they always show black people in a bad light. There are hunter-gatherers today in Europe, but they're not highlighted. Because it doesn't show Europeans.
So it's the media misrepresenting, sir.
Yes, the media is misrepresenting. And again, if somebody said, well, we don't want to be around FBAs because all y'all do is smoke crack and join gangs, you'll cry and talk about that's just the media portraying us that way. We not really like that. But now somebody else is saying that, and now that response is not valid. This is ridiculous. Keep going, Tariq.
You're extrapolating things that you've seen and you're projecting it to uneducated people and telling them that's what Jamaicans do to get to America. It's not true. You said inner tubes. Africans come over in inner tubes. Yes, some people do. And some of them are fleeing bad places and they want to get money and they want to be better. Is that bad? But why are you weaponizing that against black people? You don't do that with white people. Loads of Polish people come over illegally to America. Speak on them. Why are you speaking on your own kind?
Well, the problem is the Polish people are not coming over here trying to act as our representatives.
So you're speaking on people being quote unquote refugees and fleers because it's okay not to speak on the white ones because they're not trying to be your representatives. That's not true. A lot of quote unquote people that would fall into the fleer category are being elected into office, which means they speak on your behalf. You do know your elected officials speak on your behalf, whether you like them or not, whether you voted for them or not. Trump speaks on the behalf of the American people. I don't like that, and you don't gotta like that, but he is the president. It is what it is. So there ain't no Polish people coming over here getting elected into office. Ain't no Indians coming over here getting elected into office. Ain't no Italians coming over here getting elected into office. No Irish people coming over here getting elected into office. Ain't no Germans getting elected into office. No Mexicans getting elected into office. What are you talking about? They speaking for you.
We don't have Polish people popping over here talking about we don't need reparations. We don't have a Polish version of Brian Donalds. We don't have a Polish version of Winston Sears. We don't have a Polish version of Wes Moore. We don't have.
I thought Wes Moore was supposed to be FBA, but yeah, you change the definition of FBA all the time. And mind you, he's saying Wes Moore is not FBA because Governor Wes Moore advocated for people to get reparations and said no more studies. So if Governor Moore would have said, yeah, we need a study, he would have been a tether because he's asking for a study and we don't need no study. He's saying we don't need no study and you're calling him a tether because he's blocking reparations by not letting it be studied. You see the trick bag, right?
A Polish version of Candace Owens. We don't have a Polish version of Myron Gaines. Y'all, no. Y'all come over here and try to blend in and then act as representatives and try to undermine us from within.
For every one person he named, there's literally 1,000 quote unquote FBAs who are doing the same exact thing. In fact, everybody he named learned their game from FBAs. Remember, who is Candace Owens' big homie? Larry Elders. Who is a lot of these black people that you talk about big homies? Black Republicans. Who has done more to keep black people from being able to get reparations and saying we don't need reparations at the highest level than black Republicans? Tim Scott, black senator. He's anti-reparations. The black people in Trump's cabinet, anti-reparations. The black Republicans in Congress who will be FBA are against reparations. Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court against reparations. Those are black people who would qualify for reparations, who are in positions of power to help bring it about, using their position of power to keep it from happening. Only a fool would be talking about some random person, especially a random person who got it from them. Yep, Clarence Thomas. Yes, nobody is undermining anybody. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got 80 people in the building. Yep. Yeah, let's keep it going. That's a lie. What Democrats? Because again, the Democrats are not a monolith. Black people are Democrats, and black people are pro-reparations. Black immigrants are, you do know black immigrants are the only group other than Native Black Americans who are pro-reparations for Native Black Americans. You do know that, right? They did a poll. Of the only two groups that are more than 50% of their population believes that black people in America are entitled to reparations are Native Black Americans and black immigrants. Asians don't believe you deserve reparations. You ain't got this smoke for them. Latinos don't believe you deserve reparations. You don't got that smoke for them. Native Americans don't think y'all deserve reparations. Y'all ain't got that smoke for them. White people don't believe that. Arabs don't believe that. And any all other type of Middle Easterners don't believe that. Indians don't believe that. They don't believe, every group in America don't believe black people deserve reparations. The only group who say, yeah, y'all deserve reparations, who wouldn't get the reparations is black immigrants. But that's seemed to be the only group y'all FBA bozos want to attack. That's the only group y'all want to attack. Your natural ally. Not only are black immigrants your natural ally, they are your ally in that regard. They pushing that. Matter of fact, let me show you something. We're gonna let Tariq keep talking, but we're gonna show you something real quick.
That's a problem, sir. Right?
Problem to me as well. Tariq.
Okay, why are they telling me I gotta move something? Okay, they're telling me I gotta remove you. Okay. They told me I had to remove you for some reason. Okay, well, did we say something? Okay.
Now they saying that you got to remove him. I ain't jacking that, Tariq. You just want to get him out of there because he's he putting belt to ass right now. But yeah, keep it going. Matter of fact, yeah, keep it going.
Okay. They told I had to remove him. I got some. I don't know what he said. What did he say? Yeah, I got a thing to remove him. They're like, yeah, you got to remove him because he was lying, huh?
Because he was lying. But anyway, since people want to talk, here we go. Watch this. Y'all can see my screen, right? Y'all can see my screen. For all you who don't know, this is Cori Bush right here. where she put forth a bill. She sponsored a bill. This is a reparations bill to pay black people reparations. No study, no nothing. Just pay black people the money. Remember, when people were saying that, well, 40 acres and a mule is about $400K, and it's about what 40 something million black people in America. So if you do the math, that comes out to about 14 trillion. This is her bill to just say, hey, give black people the money. Just give everybody a check. No study, no nothing. Just give everybody a check. This is her bill. Let's look at who all the co-sponsors of her bill. Let's go down the list. It got 14 co-sponsors. Oh, look, Barbara Lee from the Congressional Black Caucus that don't do nothing for black people. Ayanna Presley, also from the Congressional Black Caucus that don't do nothing for black people. Jamal Bowman from the Congressional Black Caucus that don't do nothing for black people. Let me see. Elon Omar, who don't do nothing for black people, also from the Congressional Black Caucus, somebody who's of immigrant descent. You know, people you got claim blocking reparations for black people who don't want to see y'all get it. Jonathan Jackson, also a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, co-sponsored that bill. Al Green, who y'all said don't do nothing but just make noise all day. He don't do nothing for black people. He don't propose nothing tangible. He don't fight for black people. Also co-sponsored the bill, Congressional Black Caucus. Who else? Yvette D. Clarke from New York. Person y'all said is a black immigrant who don't do nothing for black people. She just big up Jamaica all day. She also co-sponsored the bill. Let's keep it going. Dwight Evers, also black man from the Congressional Black Caucus, co-sponsored the bill. That don't do nothing. Cindy Dove, also from the Congressional Black Caucus, co-sponsored the bill. Yes. It had 14 co-sponsors, and 11 of the 14 were black people. And some of them were black immigrants. But, you know, they against reparations. They don't do nothing for black people. Yeah. What part of the Democrats are not a monolith don't you understand? They're not a monolith. There are Democrats who are anti-reparations. You do know that, right? This is what we keep trying to explain to y'all. There is no Democratic Party. Like, you keep talking about the Democratic Party like it's the Republican Party, where it's just a monolith, where it's just one party under Trump. The Democratic Party is a big tent party. There's a bunch of different groups in the party. And a lot of them are anti-reparations. See, the point of me showing you this is that y'all keep attacking black immigrants, and y'all can attack the Congressional Black Caucus, the groups that actually fight for reparations, the groups that are actually pro-reparations. Y'all attack them to no end, but y'all got nothing to say about all the other groups who are anti-reparations. Y'all got nothing else to say about them. Y'all got nothing to say about them. Where is this energy for other groups who are actively and militantly anti-reparations? Where is this energy? It don't exist. It don't exist. You said I need to read it to understand why they supported it. I did read it, and I understand why they supported it. It's reparations. It's cash. See, this is the game. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You say you want black people to get paid out and get money? Oh, well, you didn't read the whole bill. What part of the bill didn't I read that would negate black people getting reparations? What part of the bill negates that? There's only like 2 parts of the bill. I haven't read it in a long time, granted. Maybe I forgot something, but you can enlighten me. It's an official apology and black people getting a check. What other part am I missing? See, now you're mad. Now you're mad. See, I'm exposing you, and now you're mad. And now you going, see, this is why I don't ban FBA bozos. I let them talk and expose themselves and look stupid. Now you going to calling Obama a tether. Obama is the president. You do know the president doesn't have the power to just magically grant black people reparations, right? You do know that. You do know that, right? You do know that. And again, I just explained to you about the Democratic Party, how it's a big tent and how it's a lot of, and there's a bunch of different factions in it. And a lot of them factions is anti-black or anti-reparations. You do know that, right? So we're gonna ban you right now. Because I think we done got all the utility we was gonna get out of you. So maybe it's time to just ban you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you on timeout. You might come in useful again on a different topic. Bozo. Because you another bozo right here who think you smart and you're not smart at all. Recognize game. I read it. Again, I'm going to ask you again. What part of the bill are you talking about that would negate reparations for black people? That would negate black people getting a check? That's got to be the next thing you say. Or I might have to put you on timeout. I'm not going to hold you. I might have to put you on timeout. You have to respond. You are trying to cast doubt on what I'm saying. You said that people were supporting it for alternative reasons. That's what you were saying, right? So what is the alternative reason? What? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Thank you for the fire emojis. Yeah, time out for now. So make sure your next comment is telling me what part of the bill is a trick bag and would lead to black people not getting a check. I'm waiting. But yeah, let's go back to Tariq. Matter of fact, yeah, let's go back to Tariq. Let's see what he got to say. Let's let him finish up.
Okay, yeah, they gave me a restriction thing. Like, you better remove him or you're going to get a restriction. Okay. He cursed. What did
you got the restriction because you calling people tethers and all that other stuff? That ain't got nothing to do with what he was saying.
He said, I didn't even catch him. I didn't even catch the cuss words. But for misinformation, okay, I don't know. I don't know what it was. But yeah, no, sorry, don't be embarrassed because you had to flee. Yeah, you want to pretty it up. It's called migrating. Google it. Google it. It's migrating. No, you can try to pretty up fleeing. No, y'all don't want us telling the truth. Nobody's anti-African. Stop it. We're indifferent. We don't give a shit about what y'all do. But when y'all come over here, y'all stay in our.
That's cat. And again, since I'm gonna put it right here. As you can see on your screen, at the time of Black Wall Street, this is 1921. Black people were being referred to as refugees at the time. This is a quote: refugees in our own country. That's a quote. Not only were black people made refugees, the ones that they captured, they put in internment camps and made them work to rebuild the city that they had destroyed. The white people came, destroyed the city, made the black people flee, and the ones that couldn't flee, that they captured, they killed, or they killed a bunch of black people. The rest had to flee, and the ones who couldn't flee that they captured, because remember, during Black Wall Street, they had posters called about captured Negroes. They put them in internment camps and made them work and fix up the city that they destroyed. So I don't want to hear nothing about nobody being no fleer, because as far as I know, the black population of Tulsa has not recovered from what happened, because people left and never came back. They left and never came back. Matter of fact, let's see if we can find that. Let me see. We should be able to find that picture. Black Wall Street, captured Negroes. Let's see if we can find that. It is postcard. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got over 100 people in the building. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're giving them fire emojis if you can't. Yeah, if you ain't got no way to support the channel monetarily, hit that reaction button. Let me see something. Little Africa on fire. Let's see. We see some more. Let me see. Let me see if we can find that. We gotta find that. We gotta find that. Oh, so right, wrong. Let me see. Where is that? I know that. I know I'm not misremembering that. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna see if I can blow this up. We're gonna see if we can blow that up. Here it is. Let's see. We can blow that up. Can y'all see it? Oh, well, I can't find a bigger one. It says captured Negroes on way to convention hall during Tulsa race riot, June. I can't see the date. I think it's 1921. I can't see it. It's too small. But I'm pretty sure y'all can see it. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find a bigger picture somewhere. We got to. We got to. We got to. We got to. For the edification of the people. Shout out to everybody still in the building. We got to find that. We got to find that. That bigger picture. Yeah, we not getting out of here until we find that bigger picture, chat. We not. Nope. I gotta find a way to blow this picture up. I think we could do it this way. This is the biggest way I can find it. But y'all can see the picture, right? Y'all can see it, right? What that say? What that say? What these black people doing? Hands up. They've been captured. They've been captured. They're gonna be put in false and they're gonna be put in internment camps to do forced labor. They've been captured. They've been captured. They've been captured. Shout out to everybody in the building. We're gonna go move on from this topic right now. But those are captured Negroes right there. They've been captured. They have been captured. Thanks for the fire emojis. Thanks for the fire emojis. Thanks for the fire emojis. They have been captured. Captured. Yep. Captured Negroes. They've been captured. They've been captured. Yep. People fled from all these places and never came back. Where that smoke at? Where that smoke at? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know where that smoke at. Where that smoke at? Where that smoke for the white people who did this? Because again, even if they not still alive, their kids are still alive. Trust and believe that. And that property that they stole, they still got it. I only time people out when they start calling people tethers. Like again, I'm not afraid of nothing. I don't care about what nobody say. People are free to talk in this chat all they want. They're free to disagree with me. They're free to go against me. It's back when people start threatening people start spamming, or people start name calling, then I gotta time you out. Because again, if you're gonna directly challenge me, if I'm answering your question, you gotta answer mine. And if you're not gonna answer mine, I'm gonna put you on timeout, and then you could come back later when we move to a different subject. Maybe when you get your mind right. Because as you can see, recognized game, the bozo hasn't commented again. Because remember, I told him, I say, your next comment. Matter of fact, I think he did recomment. Matter of fact, oh, let's right here. Let's see what's going. So how is that a trick bag? Inquiring minds want to know. So what's wrong with that? So you opposing this bill for what reason, by the way? Again, what you showing don't show how black people not getting a check. What you showing is saying that black people must be compensated. Like what you thought, because they said, and people of African descent in the United States, that's your big gotcha? That's your big gotcha? Like, these niggas is so weird. So somebody's putting a check on the table, 400 grand in your hand, and you worried about the language. Mind you, whether it's 100 million people, whether it's 50 million people, the amount of money you get don't shrink. This is the problem. This is why Tariq gonna cook y'all brains with this whole, the language. You got to worry about the trick bag language. Somebody talking about you literally sitting here not supporting reparations, cash money in your hand because the language ain't right. What, because you see the word African? That shit weird, man. Those are two distinct groups. Okay, yes. Because you do know that, like, regular smart people recognize that reparations is for everything, right? It's not just for slavery. It's not just for slavery. See, that's another part why y'all guys are stupid. Reparations is not just for slavery. Reparations is for all the racial harm done to black people in America. You do know that black immigrants are also a part of that group, right? You do know that, right? They haven't experienced as much racial harm, but they have experienced racial harm, like Jim Crow. Jim Crow affected anybody black in the country. You do know during Jim Crow, there was hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of black immigrants in this country and their descendants in America. You do know that, right? You are aware of that, right? So if we giving people reparations for not just slavery, but for the harm of Jim Crow, wouldn't that stand to reason that they would get that too? Because again, they are also black. They also face the harms of Jim Crow. This is why y'all bozos messed with the original California reparations task force. Y'all messed it up because the original proposal was that the state of California give every native black American in California $300,000, and they give every black immigrant in California $100,000 to represent for reparations for all the harm the state of California has done to black people. You do know that, right? Reparations is for them. Like I just explained to you, reparations for slavery is not for them. Reparations for the harm done to black people throughout the centuries is for them. Again, Jim Crow. You do know that, right? How stupid can you be? This is why niggas is dumb. You do know when they gave the Japanese reparations, there was two groups of Japanese people who got reparations. Ones who was put in internment camps in America, and those who were also hurt by American policies, I think in Brazil or something like that, or somewhere else. They also got reparations. Not as much as the ones interned in America, but they also got reparations. This is how stupid people can be. This is how stupid y'all are. This is how stupid y'all are. You didn't even realize that. Y'all literally fighting against reparations because y'all saying, black immigrants are getting it. Not even understanding that when they talking about black immigrants, they talking about something else. That's a different check. That's a different check. That's a different check. That's like America saying we're going to pay reparations to all Latinos for all the harm that was ever done to Latinos in America. And you got a bunch of Mexicans advocating against it because they don't want Venezuelans to get reparations because they talking about, the Venezuelans just got here. When they acknowledging that, there's two groups of Latinos, ones who were born here and experienced discrimination here, and ones who migrated here and experienced discrimination. Those are two different groups. No, I'm not. That's literally the claim of H.R. 40, which all reparations bills are based off of. See, that's again, y'all so stupid. All reparations bills, even including the one you just referenced, is based off H.R. 40. Are all based off H.R. 40. And H.R. 40 makes that plain. Remember, Yvette Carnell is the one who started this whole nonsense where you can't support H.R. 40 because black immigrants get it got black immigrants in it too. It got two groups in it. She was the one who started this nonsense. She was the one who started it. And then when people like me correctly pointed out what it really means, what did she say? What did she say? What did she say? Or I mean, what did Tone say? Oh, it wasn't that many black immigrants in America. It could have been 2 of them. So they don't deserve compensation because it was only 2 of them. Y'all want to hear this from this bozo or no? Let me know. Let me know. Inquiring minds want to know. Y'all want him to come up? Because again, I'll talk to you on a separate day. So I'll give you all the time to get your facts in order so I can still murder you. Because again, reparations was always about not just for slavery. See, that's what another thing people was talking about, you FBA bozos. Y'all was shrinking reparations. Y'all shrunk it when y'all just talk about slavery. Y'all shrink it. Matter of fact, let me see. Where's that clip? Because again, we going to school today. We going to school today. Shout out to everybody in the building. We going to school today. We done with Tariq right now. Matter of fact, we might not be done with Tariq, but we definitely going to school today. We definitely going to school today. We definitely going to school today. Shout out to everybody in the building. Remember, fire emojis, all that. Support the stream any way you can. We definitely going to school today. We ain't go nowhere else. We going to school. We definitely going to school. We going to school. We don't go to nowhere else. We going to school today. Mind you, this right here, for all you y'all about to watch on your screen. Let me make sure the audio is good. Let me make sure the audio is good. Yes, the audio is good. We about to watch this. This is the UN talking about reparations for African Americans.
The colonial history, the legacy of enslavement, racial subordination and segregation, racial terrorism, and racial inequality in the US remains a serious challenge as there has been no real commitment to reparation and to truth and reconciliation for people of African descent. Despite substantial changes since the end of the enforcement of Jim Crow and the fight for civil rights, ideology ensuring the domination of one group over another continues to negatively impact the civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights of African Americans today. The dangerous ideology of white supremacy inhibits social cohesion among the US population. Lynching was a form of racial terrorism that has contributed to a legacy of racial inequality that the US must address. Thousands of people of African descent were killed in violent public acts of racial control and domination, and the perpetrators were never held accountable. Contemporary police killings and the trauma it creates are reminiscent of the racial terror lynching of the past. Impunity for state violence has resulted in the current human rights crisis and must be addressed as a matter of urgency. Racial bias and disparities in the criminal justice system, mass incarceration, and the thought on crimes policy has disproportionately impacted African Americans. Mandatory minimum sentencing, disproportionate punishment of African Americans, including the death penalty, are of grave concern. The persistent gap in almost all the human development indicators, such as life expectancy, income and wealth, level of education, and even food security, among African Americans and the rest of the US population reflect the level of structural discrimination that create de facto barrier for people of African descent to fully exercise their human rights. There is a profound need to acknowledge that the transatlantic slave trade was a crime against humanity, and among the major sources and manifestations of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance, and that Africans and people of African descent were victims of this act, continue to be victims of their consequences. Past injustice and crimes against African Americans need to be addressed with reparatory justice. The working group urges Congress to expedite the passing of all pending criminal justice reform bills, including the End Racial Profiling Act, the Second Chance Reauthorization Act, and welcomes the bipartisan support for the Sentencing Reform and Correction Act, with, among other things, proposed to drastically reduce the use of mandatory minimum sentencing. The working group recommends to the government to allow independent monitoring of places of detention in the United States.
Okay, what we just heard. Again, this is to show you, bozos, that all reparations, serious reparations proposals always talked about all the harm. Like you saw her mention Jim Crow, mass incarceration. That don't just affect Native Black Americans. That affect people who are Black immigrants as well. This is why, again, there was always two groups mentioned. Remember, the whole point Yvette Carnell was attacking HR 40 over is that it also talked about other Black people getting reparations, mind you. And when people like me explained that point, what was their response? There wasn't that many Black immigrants in America. That was their response. It wasn't that they wasn't here and that they're not entitled to anything. It wasn't a lot of them, which is not a nonsense response. See, this is the problem with you FBA bozos. You don't understand reparations. You don't understand the reparations struggle. Y'all niggas don't. Y'all was just talking about slavery. That's why I keep saying somebody's trying to steal y'all reparations, when reparations is bigger than slavery. It's bigger than slavery. It's bigger than slavery. This is what, again, going back to California, when they were saying $300K for Native Black Americans, $100K for Black immigrants. Like, damn, y'all niggas are stupid. Shout out to Lord of Slaughter. I'm probably going to let him up here probably tomorrow, because maybe tomorrow, maybe later, because, again, I got to move on. We got to move on from this topic. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got over 100 people in the building. Thank you for all the fire emojis. Thank you for all the support that I'm getting. Any way you sit in support is much appreciated. We got to move on to Mandela. I keep saying Mandela. Malema. I don't know why I keep thinking about it. Yes, it did, because HR 40 had the same language in it. The same language you was complaining about that other bill is the same language in HR 40. That's how stupid you are. That same language. You just said HR 40 don't call for reparations for Black immigrants. I'm definitely going to let you up here to make you look stupid. But anyway, family, we about to cover our brother, Julius Malema. He's about to talk about the xenophobia in South Africa. This is very important. Shout out to the brother Red Pill Zulu for even letting me know about this, because I knew about it, but it's like I didn't know about this new speech. So yeah, because I know he has given speeches like this before, but I didn't know about this new one. So shout out to Red Pill Zulu. We about to get into this. Shout out to the all the real rights in South Africa. Yeah, let's get into this.
They are scared of white people. Look at them. When they speak to a white person, they are very respectful. They show manners. When they speak to a Black person, they are violent. But let's ask a question. After you marched and say you don't want Zimbabweans, you don't want Nigerians, you don't want Ghanaians, you close shops, you march. Why are you not coming back to tell us the following day that after that march, we expelled 10 Zimbabweans. And out of those 10 Zimbabweans, we're able to give 10 South Africans jobs. There is no such a report. Why? Because now Kuba ma Zimbabwe, hauna misebetsi, batho bale ba ma Zimbabwe, ba etsa mesebetsi e lona le sa batleng ho e etsa because those are slaves' jobs. They don't pay anything. You want proper jobs. You want a job with a pay slip, with an appointment letter, with pension, with medical aid, and you deserve it. But why are we fighting each other? It is the same people who made us fight each other during apartheid, black on black violence. They sponsored it. The same provinces where blacks were killing blacks during apartheid, sponsored by apartheid government, is the same provinces where blacks are beating blacks today. The script is the same. The writer of the script is the same. Why do you ask me? Unkupa orna, koncha ngwana, koskolong ka is not South African. Ke monche koskolong, ke fetche ke shebe waka, ke be proud father. After removing a black child from school, when the black children were removed from school with bullets in 1976, when our parents were removed from school because they did not have school fees, I must play that role. Me, I will never do it. I'm not going to take a pregnant woman out of a clinic because she's not South African. She gives birth of an African child at the gate, and that child dies. And you want me to do that and be proud and look at my children and say, I'm a proud father after I stopped life, after I killed someone? I will not do that. I did not join politics to be voted for. I was too young when I joined politics. These positions that I have came as a result of my participation. I am not in politics to be elected. I'm in politics to articulate a position of African people who have been oppressed for too long. We are not saying any Zimbabwean, Nigerian, Ghanaian must bring crime here. The same way no South African must bring crime here. Anyone who brings drugs, South African or Nigerian, must be dealt with according to the laws of South Africa. Not mob justice. Lena le west, ba northwest. Le tshwana le rena ko Limpopo. Ha ba qeta ka ma Zimbabwe. You must know we are next. Because Bob Uchishor and Tweki Inkasi Zulu, ye. Just talk about hack. So you must stop it before it comes to you. Remember, Raba Limpopo were even too dark. They are just going to look at us and say, well, now we don't even have to ask you anything. I coupe. Before it comes to us, let's stop it there and say, let's deal with illegal immigration through the laws of this country. The Minister of Home Affairs is a DA minister, but they never match the Minister of Home Affairs, who is responsible for illegal immigrants. Why? They are scared of white people. Look at them. When they speak to a white person, they are very respectful. They show manners. When they speak to a black person, they are violent. When is that march going to Cape Town? Because a lot of illegal immigrants, white immigrants, are in Cape Town. Let's see them going to Cape Town and asking whites to produce their IDs. The same way here in Northwest, a lot of whites say they own land. If you ask them to produce a title deed, they don't have. They gave each other the land early 90s when they saw that democracy was coming. So many white people are here in South Africa, illegal labor. they must be treated the same way we treat others. But now they are even worse. They've got our land. How na le fast? Narula economic freedom. O Shabali Zimbabwe, Liatamaya, you remain landless. How na le Zimbabwe le fast? Le fast le kamara matso amakhuwa. How na le Zimbabwe le factory, le mine, le bank. You are fighting over useless things. They are distracting you so that you focus on each other while they are stealing our minerals, while they are stealing our land. This is the time you must be more awake. They are distracting you. They say foreigners have taken jobs from you. Go for them. You go there. They take everything. That's what they did during apartheid. When we were supposed to get our freedom, they started a fight between ANC and IFP. Instead of concentrating on fighting for freedom, we got distracted and killed each other. Who took the weapons to KZN? It was apartheid soldiers. Bought a lot of ammunition, took it to KZN. That's why till today, there are a lot of illegal guns in KZN. Those guns were delivered by the apartheid government, arming blacks to fight one another. Today, they don't give you guns. They put in your mind wrong ideas for you to hate each other, concentrate on one another, while they continue to benefit the minerals of our world. We need to focus, comrades. Not because I killed anyone. They want to take me to jail for 5 years because they don't want me. Why? Why do they want to take me away? They want to take me away because they are scared of the truth. They don't want the truth. I will talk the truth here. I'll talk the truth in jail. I'll talk the truth in my grave. No one can ever kill my ideas. My ideas are out there. No one can ever arrest my ideas. My ideas are out there. No white woman can determine my destination. I've got an appointment with the future, and that future is the revolution to liberate the children of Africa. You must not be scared, comrades. You must never allow them to use me to intimidate you. No one must use my name to intimidate you. Continue to fight for the truth. Continue to tell the truth. Do not be shaken by my sentencing, because that's what they want. They want you to be shaken. I'm not shaken. If I was not married with children, I was not going to appeal it. I was going to go there and come back. But as a responsible family man, I might be strong. My wife might not be strong. My children might not be strong. And my jail can destroy them. For them, I shall appeal it until I get my freedom, so that my family is in a better position. Fighters, the system is against us. We need to rise now. We need to take over power and change the system. The only way you can do that is to make sure that in your VT, there is a VT coordinator who registers the voters, because you cannot win election without your own voters.
I want to make 3 absolute statements.
Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, we back, family. That was a beautiful speech by our brother Julius Malema. Let's give it up to him. Because again, everything he said was correct. Let's go down the list of everything he said. Wait, let me put him back on the screen first. Let me put him back on the screen.
They are scared.
One, People being scared of white people. That's a fact. It's the same thing with these FBA bozos. They are scared of white people. They are scared of white people. They scared of white people. None of this energy, like we just talked about, none of this FBA energy is directed towards white people. Another thing, all these immigrants are taking our jobs. Those jobs don't pay anything. Just like he said, those are sweatshop jobs. They don't pay anything. They don't do anything for nobody. Those are not real jobs. You don't even want those jobs. And even when you kick them out, you can't even show that, hey, we kicked out 10 Zimbabweans. Now 10 South Africans got jobs. You can't show that. The same thing with these FBA bozos. They celebrated all these migrants getting rounded up in tomato fields, but nobody black want those jobs. And on top of that, you can't show me all this deportation, all this ICE raids, all this other stuff generating more jobs for black people. In fact, black unemployment has gone up. Same thing in South Africa. Black unemployment in South Africa is up. All this attack, all this anti-immigrant attack, and nobody's getting a job. Nobody's life is better. Like he's saying, you got to keep the focus on the government. It's the government. You got to go after them. They're not doing what they're supposed to. And again, also, if you're going to do this, you got to keep that energy with white people, which they not doing, which the xenophobes in South Africa not doing, what the FBA bozos in America not doing. They're not doing. They're not keeping that energy. This is where we at with it. They're not keeping that energy. And again, like he said also about the crime issue, because you know how the FBA bozos want to blame all crime on black immigrants now. Blame gang banging, drug dealing, everything, crack, all on black immigrants now. Do black immigrants come to America and commit crime? Yes, they do. And they should be dealt with the same way a black person in America who from America commits crime. Ain't no different. They both criminals and they need to be dealt with the same way. In fact, by focusing on the immigrant criminal, you letting the native black American criminal, who there are more of, and commit crime. Let them make it easier for them to commit crime. You said nobody's scared of white people. FBA is scared of white people. That's a fact. FBA is scared of white people. And it's also a fact that any South African xenophobe is also scared of white people. Super respectful when they talk to white people. We done seen this a million times of FBA bozos talking to white people with all the respect in the world. All the respect in the world. Those are not FBAs. Stop saying that. None of those people you claiming are FBA. And so what? Some random black person beat up some random white person. What does that is that equivalent to the violence that white people have perpetrated on black people? Do I got to show you the black guy hanging from a tree and the other black guy saying to the north? So a black person beating up a white person in a one-on-one fight is the equivalent to that? That's your get back? That's your get back. That's what we seen. FBA is claiming that's their get back. White people done enslaved you, mass incarcerated you, experimented on you, did all that other stuff. But FBA saying they got their get back and more because you can go look on YouTube and see videos of white people having one-on-one fights with black people and the black person winning. You can't make that up. I'm not moving no goalposts. You just said that you just said FBA ain't scared of white people. And I said, one, those people you claiming are not FBA. You have never shown me a video of somebody claiming to be FBA putting belt to no ass. Because again, we talking about FBA. We talking about the people who claim FBA. You can't put that title on other black people who don't know you. Like I can't make up a term like dark ebony American and say there's 40 million dark ebony Americans. Who am I to rename 40 million people? And they never even heard of me. Let's keep it going. So how am I moving the goalposts? And again, how is a fight equivalent to slavery? Jim Crow, mass incarceration, lynching. I don't care about that. We watching white people right now take away black people's rights. And you talking about a fight on YouTube. Can't make this up. Nigga, you're dumb. That's correct. South African xenophobes are scared of white people, just like FBA xenophobes are scared of white people. Yes, exactly. Tariq was super respectful to Jared Taylor during that debate and got destroyed. And and got destroyed. Again, it's the same old with these bigots. Same old. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Red Pill Zulu again for putting me onto this speech. Because again, when you first told me about it, I'm like, I already saw this because I looked it up, and then I realized, oh no, there's one from May 1st that I didn't see. So thank you for letting me know. I didn't know about this. But again, yes, shout out to the bro Red Pill Zulu. Let me know if you want to be a mod. And if anybody knows CD No Handle, I made a mistake and demodded that person. I need to CD No Handle. If you're in the building, please comment so I can remod you. Please. Comment right now so I can remod you. And Red Pill Zulu, if you want to be modded, comment so I can mod you up. Because I thought I modded you up already, but for some reason it didn't go through. But yeah. Like again, we're not doing the scary stuff. Yeah, and scared of other races too. Thank you, Benevolent, for bringing that up. They scared of other races too. Because again, FBA don't got this energy for Latinos. We watch American Cholo chase Tariq out of America. Tariq fled. When all that stuff was going on with American Cholo, he dipped. You said I did mod you? But I don't see it. I don't know. Because I thought I thought I did mod you, but I don't see it. I don't see you as a moderator. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but if you saying I did mod you, then salute. You said I did. So again, I didn't see it, but because I thought I did it, and then it's like it didn't go through, and then now it's like, yeah, because I see you in my chat, but I don't see you in the regular chat. That's crazy. Did I block you? I hope I didn't do that. Probably. But shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, let's move on to another topic. This was a good one. Let's move on to another topic. Because the dude is he emailing me talking about setting up an event now. So again, I'll probably do that with him, set that up one day when I get a chance or whatever the case may be. Who knows? Inquiring minds want to know. As we can see here, they said the school at FDMG don't got a cafeteria. And I think that's true because I don't remember ever seeing a cafeteria. I don't ever remember seeing a cafeteria. So yeah, let's look at that right now. Shout out to everybody in the building. Yeah, let's go.
Can you imagine the school?
Yeah, I never saw FDMG with a cafeteria, so I don't think they got one. So yeah, let's look into this.
Can you imagine the school lunch? Ramen noodles, syrup sandwich, and sugar water. Man, let me tell y'all something too, real quick, because this is what I'm saying. Umar, I know Jim. It's always sabotage with this guy. It's sabotage. Even in his UNI resignation letter, it's sabotage. That's just one of his favorite words. That's an excuse too. Did you guys know that as of today, okay, because this goes back to what you're saying, there's no infrastructure in place in these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware for lunch services. I want y'all to think about this for a moment. Because you know how your kids go to school and they'll have like a commons where they go and they go get some lunch. My kids, they don't even eat that stuff. They used to try. They don't even do it anymore. And we were growing up, they had the little milks. I don't know if they have the little milks. You don't remember the milk, so they had the chocolate milk. I used to love that chocolate milk. All right. They even had, missing children on there and stuff. That was scary, but that's back in the day. And then they'll give you, some French fries or a burger or something, stuff like that. But it's set up. So the children, they'll go and there's a line and you walk. Well, there's none of that. They don't have that infrastructure. On the other side of the street, there was a cafeteria, Okay, but a lot of that, again, Umar is not even using the larger building, and he hasn't done any renovations over there. It's in worse condition now than it was when he first went back there in 2019. But
wait, time out. It's a separate building, so he got two buildings, or is it two parts to one building? Oh, Umar got two buildings. Didn't know that.
A lot of that stuff that was in there in 2017 when he was walking through, it's not in there anymore because he did walkthroughs later on because the people, vandalism, people coming in and stealing stuff. And a lot of that stuff is expensive stuff too, at least back then, stuff dealing with cafeteria.
So yeah, we might have to cut Umar a little slack on that. If people was coming in there, breaking in and stealing that stuff, and that stuff is very expensive and it came with the building, I might have to cut Umar a little slack on this cafeteria issue if that's the case. If he had the equipment when he first bought it, and then after a while the equipment is not there because people was breaking in there stealing it, that's a different story. Keep going. Let me like your video, and y'all make sure y'all like my video.
Equipment and that stuff, food services, that's expensive stuff. So the point that I'm making here is that Mr. I don't give a shizzle, Umar doesn't even have a way to be able to provide lunch. Okay, let's go to Fantasyland real quick. Okay, y'all hold on one second. I'm sorry. Yeah, my wife was leaving with all the kids. so I had to make sure everything was cool. I apologize. So what I'm saying is that Umar doesn't even have a way to provide these children with. You guys hear me? Let me know if y'all hear me. Alfredo, don't do that. Don't do that. You guys, wow. Somebody said, bring your own lunch. See, this is crazy. See, Umar, it don't even make sense. Why would you pay $500 a month tuition and you got to bring your own lunch? That's nuts. Come on, people. It's an impoverished community. Okay, there's no cafeteria in that small, what he calls a small school. There's no cafeteria clearly inside of the gym. Now, what he can do is he can outsource it, which isn't uncommon, especially for charter schools do that. They'll outsource. They have the food brought in, and they'll set up tables, and the kids come and eat. But why would parents pay $500 a month?
Oh, he has 3 buildings. See, that's a problem. Like I said with Umar, too ambitious. 3 buildings, no security, people breaking in there, taking all the equipment. You're right. Umar is responsible for that. It's his job to have security. It's his job to have that. He was not supposed to buy 3 buildings that he knew he couldn't secure. So he is responsible for that. Just like a construction site. If you got a construction site, it's your job to secure that construction site. It's your job. You're right. So yeah, we might not be able to cut Umar no slack. He didn't want to take no help from nobody. He said he got it. He know what to do. He don't need nobody. So yeah, you don't need nobody, right? So you got it, right? So yeah.
Because it's more expensive to outsource it. See, Umar doesn't have a plan. And there go my dog. He acting up already. I'm gonna have to bring him down here. Man, goodness gracious. Because he knows when people leave. They smart. Dogs are smart. They know when people leave. If he gets too loud, let me know. I'll have to bring him down here. He's a mess.
See, now I modded you, Red Pill Zulu. You wasn't modded before. See, now you got the wrench next to your name. Now, because I just looked into it. Yeah, I got you now. And also, like, at Ruler being a moderator, don't ban anybody. And if they talking about the topic, let them talk. But if they start being disrespectful, like calling people tethers and stuff like that, or they like spamming, you can time them out, though. You can time them out. They start calling people tethers and stuff like that. Yeah, time them out. or they start spamming the same comment over again, yeah, time them out. But don't ban anybody. Let's get back to this.
Anyway, these poor kids gotta bring, they're gonna have to bring their own lunch. All right. Anyway, this just gets back to what somebody bring. You got to bring your own water too.
Yep, you must stay focused.
That's crazy. Umar, he's never, and remember, Umar was talking about how they're gonna have vegan and 90% raw vegan. That's expensive. I'm vegan myself. I don't really talk about it. It's no big deal. But you know, and I became vegetarian when I was like, I want to say probably 19. And then when I met
vegan and vegetarian is two different things.
My wife, at some point, I met my wife when I was 25, but at some point we transitioned into vegan. She didn't grow up eating meat, and so I grew up eating everything. But her mama, rest in peace, and her aunt, they were vegan chefs. They used to do vegan meals for like celebrities and stuff.
Disclaimer, I'm anti-vegan. I'm pro-vegetarian, but I'm anti-vegan. But, you know, that's not a part of this video, but that's neither here nor there. Like, keep it going, brother.
And my wife, she cooked real good vegan food, you know. Anyway, but it's no big deal. It's a lifestyle, you know. The point is, it's expensive. So if you're going to be providing food for all these kids, and it's supposed to be 90% vegan raw, and you ain't even got no cafeteria, what's going on here? No prep, no food prep area, nothing. What's it don't make no sense. And then if you're going to outsource this, but that's more money. All right. Anyway, how much money has Umar Johnson put into FDMG himself?
Oh, yeah, the video is ended. Shout out to the bro Honor. Yeah, for because I learned some good information from that video just now. I didn't know Umar had 3 buildings. You just brought it to my attention that I never seen a cafeteria in that building that he keep running around. And that a bunch of the equipment got stolen because Umar didn't have proper security for the facility. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, we got 100 people in the building. Make sure you're making the likes look like the viewers. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're doing that. No, it ain't gonna be allowed to be only for black students. That's another game. They would never allow that, especially in this era. That's the funny part too. You would be easier to get a black-only school off under the Democrats than you would be able to do it under the Republicans. Because now you're gonna have people, if he ever did get the school off the ground, you'll have people like Ed Blum suing for white people to have the right to go to the school, and they would win. We'll go to the Supreme Court, they would win. Oh, good to know, curly girl. I'm anti-vegan too. Anti-vegan. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Matter of fact, since we in the building, let me show y'all. Let me see something real quick, because I saw this and I wanted to touch on this.
Black people ever.
Yeah, I remember when we covered this bozo like 2-3 days ago. And he was arguing up and down and beating his chest, talking about celebrating, talking about, oh, if y'all want to blame Democrats for losing, blame me. Blame me. Yeah, we made y'all lose. We made y'all lose. We made y'all lose. Remember when I said that all these bozos do is every time somebody talk about how the Democrats lost and how a lot of black people didn't come out to vote, they take pride and credit in that. And then when people say, oh, so y'all made us lose, they retreat from that and say, oh, why you blaming black people? Why you blaming black people? 1 minute they want the credit for making the Democrats lose. Next minute they don't want the credit. They want to cry. And that's what this bozo is doing right here. I didn't watch this video, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. I'm pretty sure. Because it's called Black People Are People Too. So I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. He got Killer Mike up here.
They get to have their own opinions about politics. I mean, is it ever going to become safe for black people to think outside of the box and not just go with the Democratic Party? It's a real question, because y'all back on dragging Killer Mike all over again. It's like whenever the Democrats get upset about the Republicans being in power, they got to go grab a Negro up, go get a ninja somewhere. You get like 100 ninjas who want to be Democrat Party affiliates, who want to be able to go to some nice events, or who don't know anything about anything, and let's go drag out and let's barbecue us a Negro at the stake. Because they had the audacity to think bigger than just voting for the Democratic Party. Look, do me a favor. Let me know when it's going to be safe for Black people to have independent thoughts.
Again, wasn't you just dragging Bernie Sanders in them? Wasn't you just dragging them, talking about, and you call Hassan Bernie Sanders with an extra kick? So why are you defending Killer Mike? That's one. Two, Black people can have their own thoughts. That's why Black people are attacking him with their own thoughts. This had nothing to do with the Democratic Party. Remember, Black people are losing power, not the Democrats. Black people. Yeah, the Democratic Party is losing some power because Black people are a major constituency, but Black people are losing all their power. Those are Black districts being erased right now. Not Democratic districts, Black districts. Black districts where Black people were free to vote Republican if they wanted to, free to vote for the third party if they wanted to, free to create their own party if they wanted to, free to vote for an independent, free to vote for a woman, free to vote for a man, free to vote for a white, free to vote for a Black, and everything in between. Those were Black districts, and Black people have lost that power because of people like you and people like Killer Mike telling people not to vote, telling people that, to vote down ballot, telling people to vote for Trump, telling people to vote the couch. That's why we lose. We lost our power. It's not the Democrats sending people out to attack people like that. It's Black people with their own mind attacking people like that. Like, imagine you doing something that causes Black people to lose power. Black people to lose power, and then Black people call you out for it, and you talk about, and you're basically calling them a Democratic shill. That's Black power right there. That's Black power. That's Black power going up in smoke, bozo. Exactly, because that is him. He is those low-educated, angry men who call in. The only difference between them and him is that he was able to get a platform that popped. Because he was so stupid, the lefties platformed him. That's yeah. And then they realized he was extra stupid, so they just kicked him to the curb. Like, all right, he's stupid enough that we can platform him. But then they realized how really stupid he was. They said, oh yeah, he gotta go. He gotta go.
You know, like white people do, and like Asians do, and Latinos do.
And you see how these dudes always talk about how they don't care about no other group, and how Black people got their own unique struggle that can't be compared to no other group. And when you call them out for doing something anti-Black, the first thing they do is start talking about, well, how come I can't do that? Asians do it, Latinos do it, white people do it, so why can't I do it? I thought Black people had our own struggle and our own issues that's separate and distinct from every other group. Wouldn't that mean that if that's the case, they can do things that we can't do, and we can do things that they can't do? Wouldn't that mean that? Remember, not voting for the Democratic Party is an existential threat to Black people. The Republican Party is an existential threat to Black people's rights. Nobody else got to worry about going to bed one day and waking up the next day and having all their rights gone because of the Republican Party is in office. Republicans got power. That's effectively only a Black issue. Yes, some people got to worry about losing some rights here, some rights there, but nobody has as much to lose as Black people. Nobody. Think about this. 160 years worth of struggle and progress just went up in smoke. Just went up in smoke. That's not the case with nobody else. And everybody saw this coming. This is why people kept saying Hillary Clinton must win. She must win. Because if she don't win, that puts what? 150 years of progress in jeopardy. Now, fast forward 10 years later, she didn't win. Trump got 2 terms. Now we got 160 years worth of progress up in smoke. That's the difference. See, somebody sitting in Bangladesh can be indifferent about whether the Nazis, a neo-Nazi party, should have power in America or not. A Jew sitting in America can't be indifferent about that. That is an existential threat to their existence. Just like black people, we couldn't be ambivalent about or nonchalant about whether the Confederacy won or not. A white person sitting in Ohio could feel that way. Us as black people, we couldn't feel that way. The Confederacy winning was an existential threat to our pursuit of freedom. Existential threat. They not equivalent. They not equivalent. Again, we not Asians. Asians don't got to worry about going to bed and waking up and saying, "Oh, damn, 160 years of progress up in smoke." Latinos don't got to worry about going to bed and waking up and saying, "Oh, damn, 160 years of progress up in smoke." White women don't got to worry about going to bed and waking up and be like, "Oh, damn, 160 years of progress up in smoke." Poor white people don't got to go to bed and wake up and be like, "Oh, damn, 160 years of progress up in smoke." And the truth be told about the poor white people, they don't care. As long as they could say, as long as they could look down on black people and black people suffering, they don't care. Only we got to worry about that. Gays don't got to worry about that. Nobody else got to worry about that but us. And people like y'all help bring that in to pass. 160 years of struggle and progress up in smoke, down the drain. For what? All that bloodshed, all that marching, all that fighting, all that dying, all that killing, for you niggas to just give it away.
You know, because everybody else gets to pick and choose who they want to vote for, and they don't get dragged from pillar to post for having a different opinion. And for the record, damn near 90% of black Americans who voted for Kamala Harris. And it wasn't enough. You know why? Because we're not the majority in the country, fam.
So how could you take responsibility for making them lose if it don't work like that? See, this is the game. When it's time to take responsibility, they want to make themselves bigger. And when people pointing the finger and giving the blame, now they want to make themselves smaller. And again, it was up to black people whether Kamala Harris won or not. Remember, just like black women put Joe Biden over the top, it was people were counting on black men to come out and put Kamala Harris over the top. If black men had came out and voted like they were supposed to, Kamala Harris would be president. And you know that. That's why you was beating your chest talking about, "Oh, if you need somebody to blame, blame me. Blame me. I'll take the credit. Yeah, we made y'all lose. Come back next time, Democrats, with policies for black people." You said that. You was beating your chest about that. Matter of fact, we might even go look for that. We might go look for that. After this, we might go look for that. That video of you beating your chest. See, this is why I don't ban you. This is why I just put you on timeout. Look what he just said. If Democrats get their stuff together, they'll have a chance to reverse everything in 2028. They can't reverse this. You can't. Democrats winning in 2028 don't remove the Supreme Court. Democrats winning in 2028 don't give black people back their congressional districts. This can't be undone. This is what I keep telling y'all. This is what y'all not failing to realize. This can't be undone. This can't be undone. We have hit the point of no return with no path forward. This can't be undone. This is the part y'all don't understand. This can't be undone, especially with a simple election. And again, the Democratic Party, you thinking of it in your head, don't exist no more. The liberals have been faded. The liberals have been scattered. It's the class reductionist lefties who got the hot hand right now. They the ones winning all their primaries. They got Placker. They got Mondani. They got Tariq. They got the lady in New Jersey. They winning basically all their election. I think they lost in Seattle, but that's about it. They 4 for 5 right now. And everybody's worrying about what Hassan got to say, who is a big homie, which is basically their quote-unquote version of Joe Rogan. This can't be undone. We don't like you want me to play the clip of Hassan telling y'all that era is over, all that black people talking about black people issues and all this other stuff, and what about black people? What did he say? That era is over. That's done. Want me to play the clip of Vosh talking about how the only good thing about the Voting Rights Act being gutted is that those black districts, they don't got to deal with them no more. Those black districts is over. Exactly. It'll take like what, 25 years, the earliest. And again, even at 25 years of starting to reverse that Supreme Court, it might take another 15 years to get it the way we wanted to, and also be able to put cases forward to get a reversal, if we even able to get a reversal. That's like a 40-year project. And that's like the basically like the easy way. Hopefully we can put something together that's better, but that's how it's looking right now. I'm not giving up hope, but that's how it's looking right now. 40 years total, the easy way. What did you say? No, they can't. There will be no packing of the court. Are you dumb? You think they could pack the court? FDR couldn't even pack the court. 4-time president FDR couldn't pack the court. What makes you think they would, the Republicans would let the Democrats pack the court? That's out. See, that's a fantasy. The Democrats, even if they win in 2028, will never win enough where they could pack the courts. And who's to say a Republican won't sue in court to say that packing the court is illegal, and the Supreme Court says we agree. Packing the court is illegal, so you can't do it. I don't need to chat GPT. That's the other thing with y'all bozos. Y'all think y'all using AI like it's actually sentient. It's basically a calculator. It's going to give you the technically correct answer. Technically speaking, the courts can be packed. But in reality, it's not going to be packed. Do you know what it takes to pack a court? Again, like I said, FDR, four-term president, probably the most popular president in American history at the time, couldn't get it done. No matter if the Democrats win in 2028, they won't win big enough where they would be able to pack a court. And also, who's to say somebody, even if they did, who's to say that somebody don't sue in the Supreme Court to the Supreme Court saying that packing the court is illegal, and the Supreme Court rules that yes, packing the Supreme Court is in fact illegal. Who's to say somebody don't file that type of lawsuit? So even if they try to pass the legislation, they don't go through. You was here in the beginning of the stream, right? You saw how people voted to change the election map in Virginia. They voted. 3 million people came out and voted. And it passed. And what happened? The Virginia Supreme Court said the map is no good and struck it down. So even though people came out and voted, put Democrats in position of power, and the Democrats came out and also executed and got everything done, somebody sued, and the Supreme Court said, yeah, we riding with you. See, that's the part y'all don't understand. A lot of the stuff y'all talking is fantasy. Somebody said it right here, FBA fantasies. It's fantasy. It's fantasy. Yeah. They will never get that through. And on top, and you know what's also funny? Is that, like I said, the Democrats that's taking charge now are not the same Democrats as before. See, that's what the problem with these persons. They keep thinking Democrat as one party. That white liberal Democratic Party that you keep thinking of in your head, that party don't exist no more. That shit gone. So who's to say that the Democrats that take power don't put a class reductionist lefty type person on the Supreme Court who also agrees that, yeah, we don't need black congressional districts? Because that's another thing. Just because they put a Democrat there don't mean that the Democrat is gonna turn around and say, not a Democrat, a lefty a liberal there doesn't mean they're going to agree with the fact that black people need their own congressional districts. Because they already don't agree with that. So why would they put a candidate, why would they put somebody on the Supreme Court who agree with that? And also, even if we got a liberal on the Supreme Court, a lot of times liberals on the courts don't like to reverse something that the court already did. They don't like to do that. They don't like to try to reverse the court. They don't like to try to reverse the court. So no, we will not be packing it. Got no thinking skills. They're trying to let AI think for them. AI chat box. Exactly. Dealing with an authoritarian government, making it up as they go. So let's, like we said in the beginning of the stream, we pointed out, and like I pointed out to people before, and people told me I didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, well, yeah, the Republicans are doing it, but who's to say that they're going to let the Democrats do it? See, that's why you don't let your enemy get power over you. You don't win by losing. There's no power in losing. No power. Thank you for giving the context. Thank you. Like, come on now. Like, are you stupid? Now you trying to live in a technicality. I said it can't be done, and then you argue, well, technically it can be done. That's a fantasy. I don't do fantasy. I do reality. If it can't work in reality, then it can't be done. I don't care about theoretically speaking, it could possibly be done. And until you can show me that theory can work in reality, I don't care about it. I don't care about it. Theoretically speaking, we can get rid of the Senate. Theoretically speaking, we can get rid of the Constitution. Theoretically speaking, we can do a whole lot of things that we know we can't do in reality. But let's let this bozo finish up.
Yeah, 60% of white people voted for Trump. And about 60% of Asians and almost 60% of Latinos. 80%, over 80% of black men voted for Kamala Harris.
Why are you trying to hide behind the black men who voted for her? See, this is the problem. Nobody talking about the black people who voted for her. We talking about the black people who didn't vote for her. We talking about the black people who told people not to vote for her. Why you don't keep that energy? This is about black people who did not vote for Kamala Harris. This is about specifically black men who did not vote for Kamala Harris. Black men like Killer Mike, who used their platform to influence other black men to not vote for Kamala Harris. This is that energy. Don't try to hide behind the group that did what they were supposed to do. That's like we running a football play. It's 11 people on each side of the football. We running the offense. Everybody doing what they supposed to do. The left tackle misses a blocking assignment, and then the quarterback gets sacked. And then everybody's blaming the left tackle for missing his blocking assignment, which led to the quarterback getting sacked. And the left tackle talking about, why y'all blaming me? There's 10 other people on this field. And yeah, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but 10 other people did what they were supposed to do. So why y'all just pointing the finger at me? What about the defense? Like, the defense did what they were supposed to do, try to sack the quarterback. Everybody else on the offense on our side did what they were supposed to do, try to protect the quarterback, try to run their route to catch the ball. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. Don't bring up nobody else. I don't want to hear about our defense. I don't want to hear about their defense. I don't want to hear about their offense. I don't want to hear about special teams. I don't want to hear about none of that. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. The focus is on you.
And she only ran for 70 days and she spent $2 billion and gave it to all her friends. And still nobody could say, hey, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Maybe the Democrats could carry their own nuts for once. Maybe they could be responsible for their own losses instead of you going and dragging out yet another black person and beating them about the head and back with whips and chains just before you release the hounds on them. Why? Because they had the audacity to think a little bit different. to think maybe we don't need to give our votes to the Democrats without asking something in return. Maybe we should demand something for a change. Killer Mike, Nina Turner, Dr. Cornel West, Chili, Nick Cannon, they did not elect Trump. You know what? Do me a favor. Go get Mark Ruffalo, George Clooney, Sarah Silverman. Go get them. Go blame them. What's Marky Mark doing? Who would he vote for? You don't even know. But it's like if you're not beating up on black people, you don't know how to act. Black people will never be free until black people can vote for whoever the hell they want to vote for, or not even vote at all.
But that's the trick bag right here, bozo. We not free. We not slaves no more, but we not free. You can't be free in a country that you're a minority in and the majority hates you. And every right, every freedom, all the progress you had happens with the majority fighting against it. The majority of the people don't want to see black people win, don't want to see us have rights. That's why we don't have no choice. You think a Jew had a choice in 1942 about who he's supporting, whether he's going to support the Nazis or support the Allies? You think a Ukrainian had a choice about who he's going to support, the Nazis or the Soviet Union? There is no choice. We at war, and one side wants to see us destroyed. See, this is the part I keep skipping over. There is no choice. You think black people had a choice about whether they wanted to support the Confederacy or the Union or not support either? They didn't have no choice. You think black people had a choice about whether they wanted to support civil rights legislation or not, or allow Jim Crow to keep continuing? They didn't have no choice. Ain't no choice. Look what happened right now when you pretending you got a choice you don't. 160 years worth of progress up in smoke because niggas want to pretend they got a choice they don't. Niggas want to try to hurt the Democrats because, again, this was about punishing the Democrats for never doing nothing for black people, as y'all say. Now, who really got punished? Who really got punished? Yes, he is. He's just like a reaction show filled. Both of them bozos. Both of them. Oh, I'm gonna see this. Oh, this person's from South Africa. I got an idea you from South Africa. You know how you handle that? You keep the focus on the person who did it. You don't sit around and attack all immigrants. Because again, you using this example, as far as I can see, of this one guy from Rwanda who killed women and children in South Africa. Correct? So that's your way of justifying the xenophobia against all black immigrants. How many white people did kill women and children in South Africa? And will you use any of that violence that white people are perpetrating against South Africans like yourself, black South Africans as yourself, as a justification to go after white people? Inquiring minds want to know. And this bozo say he wouldn't want to be on a plantation with me. Bozo, people like you put us on the plantation. People like you put us on the plantation. Like you literally, people like you put us in chains. We don't have power. We have lost all the power we fought for 160 years to get. We basically lost it all because of people like you. And you talking about you wouldn't want to be on a plantation with me. We wouldn't even have to have a conversation about a plantation if it wasn't for people like you. The sky is falling. You again, you was here from the beginning, so I got to put you on timeout. You saw what happened. You saw black people. You saw what's going on in Tennessee. You saw what's going on in South Carolina. You see what's going on throughout the whole South. You see what they just did in Virginia. You see it. I'm black. It doesn't matter if I'm in New York. This affects me. Black people can't lose political power without it affecting me. Yeah, let's get back to this. Let him finish up.
And you love him anyway. You respect him anyway. My name is Tim Black. Follow this Follow this account.
Yeah, we off this. Yeah, we gonna find that part where you was beating your chest like a bozo, telling people to blame you. Where's that? Right here.
This is the bluest district in America, or one of the bluest districts.
Number
in America.
one.
Well, there's two questions that I have for you. One is about something I was just seeing on CNN before I got here, doing the classic like black people leaving the Democratic Party alarm bells. This is Kamala Harris as well. If you remember, like any Barack Obama came out, I was like, oh, if you want to vote for Kamala, you might be something ridiculous. Yes, especially when you look at like major swaths of the white male population that's overwhelmingly voting for Republicans over and over. That's taken for granted. That's very like seen as a significant, right? So there's a lot of scapegoating black people. Our Bible disillusioned with the Democratic Party at this point because it's never taken a vote for granted.
Well, yeah, but we also show up. You can't be a Democratic candidate for president or for most statewide office and win without black people. There's a rule of thumb in the state that you need at least 11% of the total voting population in Pennsylvania for Democrats to win. That 11% comes from Philly because we're the largest city. And this is a black city. So if black folk don't show up, we all lose. But when we do show up, we're not the first at the trough. We don't get the things. We are the start of the state for granted, particularly black women. Because black women are the last true loyal bastion of the Democratic base. But black men are not too far below that. So were there younger men of all ethnicities who were turned off or who felt disconnected? Yeah, but that's not based on blackness. That's based on exclusion across generation, across the board. And you see it among white, Latino, black, Asian American. You saw that. But here's the thing: they reached them where they were. And you know, I'm gonna be slandering and talking to you. How dare I be on your show? How dare I engage you? But there's a double standard because as a black progressive, I can't do this. But people judge. She goes on Fox News. Nobody says anything. Fox News is an inherently racist media outlet, right? And so that double standard is real. So people need to understand that many of us who identify as progressive, we're progressive because we are black. And understanding that just inhabiting black bodies is a political act, and how it connects to how do you choose to define progressivism. Like we can't be truly free and have meaningful opportunities if we do not confront these structures that are inherently racist, right? And so that's why I'm a progressive. I'm a democratic socialist. Like it's rooted in my blackness. You cannot talk about any of this without talking about race.
Blame me. I don't like guys afraid to be blamed.
Look what he said. Here we go. We just watched him talking about the loss and stuff like that. Now let's hear this bozo.
Blame me. I don't know why this guy's afraid to be blamed for Democrats losing. I wish, I would welcome you to blame me for you losing. If you're not going to look at black American men and say, what can I do to earn your vote, black American, and didn't do that shit, then you shouldn't have our vote. You just shouldn't. And whatever comes from that, it's going to have to come from that. Because you cannot hold people accountable without holding them accountable. You can't get what you want out of this party by doing what they want you to do. You don't work for the party. They got to work for you. And if they're willing not to have you there, then you can't be there. It's always been this way with the progressives. They don't want to focus on black America. That's why I had to go the other way, because I need to focus on black America because I care about what happens to us. Sounds like, hey, sometimes black people got to lose feet. What can I tell you? He don't want to go and inconvenience all of his other friends, all the other Americans, by attending to our needs. Because they might go to another healthcare provider. So he just want everybody to just walk after dinner, after meals, and read a good book.
That's enough of this bozo. I don't want to hear him no more. As y'all heard, he went from, why are you blaming us for losing, for the Democrats losing, to, yeah, blame us. Blame, and he said, blame me, blame black men. Yes, black men did this to you because you wouldn't address our issues. Now he's saying, oh, why are you blaming us? Why are you blaming us? Yep, lost a lot more than feet. Yep. Bozo. But yeah, we off this. Let's end the night on something, because again, it's we going late. It's the weekend, but we going late. Let's end the night on something more. It's not good, but it's more I told y'all so. Here we go. We going to the Amazing Lucas.
What a shocker.
We going to the Amazing Lucas. He's talking about how Elon Musk and Doge basically just typed in the word black into Chat GPT and canceled everything that was associated with black. How racist are you? You so racist that you literally just cancel anything, even with the word black in it. You didn't even read it. You didn't even know what you was canceling. You just saw black cancel. That's Elon Musk right here. Let's get to this video.
What a shocker. Oh my goodness. So you guys are aware of Elon Musk, right? The guy who has a father who said that apartheid really wasn't a bad thing. Okay, that in essence it was a benefit to Africans.
You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
For decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work, we fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression, that's feeding them.
What the hell did you just say? Yeah, that guy. You know, the guy who was actually sued for discriminatory practices against black people and lost the lawsuit. That's correct. They had to pay out the employee. Yeah, that guy. So that guy was hired by Trump, Doge. Okay, it was first, Elon and Vivek, but Vivek, told white people that they were lazy and mediocre. and so he got the boot. So it was just Elon. And Elon was supposed to be going towards, fraud.
He was always going to get the boot. Even before he even said that, they was giving him the boot.
And waste. And he ends up firing a whole bunch of people. Long story short, he ends up hiring those people back, okay? Stupid. And just to interrupt for a second, I want to let everyone know of blackvotewatch.org. It's a website which helps.
We might not need that website no more. But again, we're supposed to be checking out that website. Again, I got to make sure I write that down so we can check out this website. Shout out to the amazing Lucas. Matter of fact, let him tell you what about this website.
Black Americans keep our representatives accountable, especially those that got into office on the black vote. There's a lot more coming up, but the goal is that instead of exiting politics, that we get actually involved in it. So I want everyone to check it out, please. blackvotewatch.org. That is what we are going to be using as a tool and a weapon, to protect ourselves and to shield ourselves from those who would like to exploit Black America. Now, what a judge has recently come out and said is that, all the firing that they did was unlawful. Shocker. Who would have thought? Because what you have to understand is not only was it unlawful, I would argue that it was absolutely 100% racist. That's correct. Because when it came to whether or not the scholarships or the grants that were given out to these organizations, they didn't look into whether they had scholarly merit. They simply focused on whether it was race, gender, and orientation. To be specific, they were looking at Black, they were looking at BIPOC, LGBT, homosexual. Those were words that they put in to see whether or not they wanted to delete the grant, right? Delete the money for these organizations.
Was it not through certain terms, certain words?
You would search DEI, DEIA, equity, inclusion, BIPOC, LGBTQ, LGBTQ plus, etc.
Damn. You were alongside Nate, shortlisting for termination projects that had hits on words like Black, homosexual, LGBTQ plus.
Objection.
What do you mean problematic?
You are an idiot.
And it even went so far as to label, I think it was a documentary on Jewish women who survived the Holocaust simply because they were women. Now, I don't know what to tell you, but that's what you're going to get when you have two, white males who are ignorant, looking for more DEI. And it gets so bad to where the lawyer actually asked one of the guys, he was like, hey, why didn't you look for white or Caucasian or heterosexual? And, the guy's completely flustered. He's like, well, we could have looked for that.
But you didn't screen for white, Caucasian, or heterosexual, right?
We could have.
But you didn't.
We didn't.
Wake up, nigga.
And it just
murder for hire? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
This goes to show that this has nothing to do with, DEI. This has nothing to do with merit. This has to do with purging Black and brown people from the databases. That's what this also has to do with. So all in all, what the judge did was block the grant termination that had been done, right? They terminated all these grants off of DEI. And it was basically just them saying, hey, is it Black? Is it brown? Is it gay? Yeah, ban all of that. That's essentially what it was. Nothing, no further deep analysis. They were actually going and using ChatGPT, typing in a prompt to ask ChatGPT, hey, does this qualify as DEI? Let me know your reasoning.
From the perspective of someone looking to identify DEI grants, does this involve DEI? Respond factually in less than 120 characters. Begin with yes or no, followed by a brief explanation. Do not use, quote, this initiative, close quote, or quote, this description, close quote, in your response. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And that's the command for ChatGPT. Is that right?
Yes.
Stupid. They were using AI to think for themselves. I want you to think about that. They were using AI to have it think for them. These are the people that Elon Musk, that Trump thought were qualified, because this is all about merit, right? The whole merit scam, that were qualified to delete grants. That's what you have to understand. And they're so arrogant, so pompous about it, that when even asked about, hey, do you think this makes sense? Do you think this makes sense that they would put you in a position to completely destroy people's livelihoods, even though you have no experience in the role that you've been assigned to? Does that make sense to you? And this kid was like, well, yeah, absolutely. You know, if it means, you know, lowering the deficit, then sure.
Do you think it's inappropriate in any way that someone in their 20s with no experience with grants or federal government was making personal judgment calls about what grants to cancel?
No, I don't think it's inappropriate.
What? And he follows up with, well, did you lower the deficit? No.
You don't regret that people might have lost important income to support their lives?
No. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero.
Did you reduce the federal deficit?
No, we didn't.
And that right there is the outcome of Republican propaganda. That is what they want for the youth, to just be just yes men, that they feed them propaganda and they consume it, and then they don't think for themselves. They just say, DEI is bad without even knowing what DEI is. And we've seen this before.
Yep, that's the same thing FBA does. Like I kept mentioning, this is why I go so hard on the FBA bozos, because they poison in the youth. They poison in the youth. They are poisoning the youth. These are a bunch of young people who never even had a chance to live at life, and they running around believing all this nonsense that somehow living on a reservation is cool, that somehow the Democrats are the ultimate evil, Black immigrants are the problem. Blah 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 blah. We got a new member to the channel, y'all. We got Ultimate Gaming 1441. Shout out to you for becoming a member to the channel. Everybody else, if you want to become a member of the channel, hit that join button. Hit that join button. Remember, support the stream. If you ain't got no money to support the stream, fire emojis. Remember, we take PayPal, Cash App, super thanks. We take it all. Whole lot of ones, we the whole lot of nuns. But if you ain't got nothing, that's fine. You know what to do. Just hit the give me them fire emojis. Fire emojis. That's right, fire emojis. Also, in the pinned comment, you can see that's where the Cash App is at. That's where the PayPal is at. Also, my second channel. Go subscribe to my second channel, because they flagging me on this channel, so I might not be able to go live from this channel. So I'll be going live over there. So yeah, let's get back to this. Shout out to you again, Ultimate Gaming 1441, for joining the channel.
We saw this with CRT. Do y'all remember how they were screaming and hollering? Oh, they're teaching the kids CRT in elementary school, in kindergarten. And people were like, what? That's a college course. What are you talking about? What it basically meant to them is anything having.
Right, Regina. What was the point of hiring them if they're just going to use ChatGPT? Couldn't Elon Musk did that himself with Grok? Typed into Grok, like, hey, Grok, tell me which one of these policies is DEI. Give me a list. And then once Grok gave him a list, he just cut them all and went about his business. Again. And they always talking about somebody being unqualified. Them little kids was unqualified. They didn't even know what they was doing. They didn't even know what DEI and all that stuff even stood for. They just heard people saying it was bad on social media. So they went to so they got hired and they went to ChatGPT and said, hey, find some policies that got the word Black in it, got LGBT in it. And then, all right, you gave it to me. These are grants and stuff with that. All right, we just gonna cut that and get rid of it, without even knowing what it is. Straight weird. Straight weird. Straight weird.
To do with black, anything having to do with history that they didn't want their precious little Timmy to come across, because that goes back into the whole concept of white guilt. Well, I don't want little Timmy to feel bad about slavery. You know, he was never a slave master. So how about we skip all of that, right? How about we just say that they were immigrants? And they actually did that in a Texas book. They actually said that black people who came over on slave ships, I don't even know what they even called them. I guess they called them immigrant transportation. I guess, I don't know. You can't call it slave ships, right?
I think they called it cargo ships.
Were in fact immigrants. And we're seeing during this administration that there's been a complete whitewashing of history. There's been a complete whitewashing of all the crimes, all the sins that this country has committed against the citizens of this country. And we're gone so far right now to where it took less effort, all right? I want you to say it took less effort for them to release UFO findings than it has been for them to release Epstein files. Damn. I want you to think about that. That's where this country is. UFO, oh yeah, here's all the information. We're just gonna, unclassify it. When it comes to actual people who have preyed on American citizens, well, you're not really MAGA. You don't really love the country if you really want to look at those files. This is the type of brainwashing. This is the type of mental gymnastics that is taking place. And unfortunately, there are large swaths of the country that are okay with it. They are fine with it. Whether it's him blaspheming against Jesus, whether or not it's him just lying to his voter base when it comes to the Epstein files, when it comes to the Iran war, whether or not it's his callous, just cold heart when it comes to people suffering, when it comes to gas prices. Well, it's worth it, all right? It's worth it. Well, in fact, the gas prices have gone down.
Are you considering maybe going back to that now?
Exactly. They don't care. Them young Doge people, they don't care. They don't care what they did. Because again, they young, they racist, their brains have been turned to soup. They don't care. They do think they regret that they hurt a bunch of black people and a bunch of other people for no reason. And they got rid of stuff that's not even having anything to do with DEI. They don't care. They don't care. Yes, there was some nepotism with that too. Because I think the one of the little white boys, parents work for Elon Musk or something like that. I don't know. Like, it's just a bunch of weirdo stuff. And yeah, all those people are nitwits and bozos. But guess what? What's so crazy about that? Look at that little, I just thought about something. I didn't just think about this, but I want to bring this up. Those are the people they put in charge of us. All you FBA bozos, all you Tim Black bozos, all you Killer Mike bozos, them little kids right there, they was like 20 years old, 20, 21, 22 years old. I think the oldest one was 25. Y'all let Elon Musk, this racist, put a bunch of 20-something-year-old racist white kids who never had to work or do anything a day in their life in charge of us and ruin our stuff. That's basically slavery. That's basically Jim Crow. This is what y'all sentenced the people to. This is what y'all did. Shout out to everybody in the building. We still got 100 people in the building. Roland Martin is actually good. The FBA bozos you follow can't even tie Roland Martin's shoes.
Now that gas prices are more than $4.50.
Well, no, gas prices have come down today. Have you looked? They've come down very substantially today. The gas prices, you know what's happened today? Gas prices are way down and the stock market is way up today.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Just bold-faced lying to people, just lying to people. And he surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men. That's where we are right now. And everyone who's in this country is suffering. Aside from the elite, the elites out there, aside from the billionaire, millionaire class, but everyone who is the foundation of this country, who makes this country run, we're just told to just take it. Okay, if you have 2 jobs, get a 3rd job. Lift yourself up by the bootstraps. That's what they've told the entire American people. And it's just like, bro, this is not how you treat your citizens, fam. This is not how you do it. And then you hire, pompous, arrogant, flippant youth to go and fire people
If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of Damn!
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
He's out of line, but he's right.
That is not the trajectory that anyone would want for this country, because that leads you into chaos. That leads you into absolute destruction, which these people seem to be very, very good at. Anyways, guys, that's the video. You gotta let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, they actually did, they did their jobs. All right, you can't blame them for doing their jobs. Or if you believe, I don't know. I feel like I've heard that somewhere. I can't put my finger on where I've heard I was just doing my job. I don't know. You tell me. Anyways, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me. Friday and Saturday is a new disagreement day. There'll be a number on screen. You call in and you'll duke it out with yours truly. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Peace. Yo, somebody asked me that before. Should I do a disagreement day just like that? Because you see how we had a bunch of people coming in the comment section talking about drop the link, drop the link, drop the link. Should I create a day just for the drop the link people? I think I'm going to do that. What's up? Shout out to everybody in the building, though. Yeah, I definitely did get the strikes. Again, that's one of the reasons. I got like 3 pre-recorded videos ready to drop, and I didn't want to drop them because I got strikes on my channel. Soon as the strikes got off my channel, I dropped one, and now I'm waiting to drop the other 2, and then I get a strike less than like 24 hours later again. And it's like, come on, man. But it's like I'm about to just drop the pre-records and whatever happened. Again, I already built my channel up the other side a little bit. So it's like, again, people know where to find me if they want to really find me. It's over there at the second channel. I know they are, but I don't care about that. Because I'm going to let them have their piece because they saying I'm ducking them because they emailing me now. I'm getting emails like crazy. While I'm talking to y'all, I'm getting emails like crazy. From FBA bozos challenging me to a debate, talking about, oh, you won't drop the link, you won't talk. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I want to have a haters only day, but I want to also have a supporters day where I want to be able to talk to the supporters. I dropped the link. If you're a supporter, you can talk to me. You agree, you disagree, you got a problem, whatever. Like just for the supporters before I do it for the haters. But we'll see how it shake out. But anyway, family, make sure I'm about to end this stream, but before you leave, hit that pin comment. The pin comment got my second channel there. Go subscribe to my second channel now. If you don't do nothing else, if you didn't support no other way, support me that way. Go subscribe to my second channel. Now, while we about to leave, I gotta give my shout outs. Shout out to the Lord of Slaughter for the 199 and the fire emojis. Shout out to Red Pill Zulu for the 20. I made you officially a mod today. Shout out to you for that. Also a member of the channel. Also, Lord of Slaughter is a member of the channel. Shout out to Lord of Slaughter again for the double up with another 199. See, Lord of Slaughter want me to drop the link. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Drop the link. Shout out to Ultimate Gaming 1441, a new member to the channel. Make sure you can go get your memberships too. Yeah. Do that, family. Much appreciated. But anyway, I'm about to be out. So yeah. I'm have a good night, have a good morning, have a good evening, afternoon, wherever you at, or whenever you watching this. Salute to you. Have a brain in your head. Don't be like the FBA bozos. And yeah. Let's see. Hate watching extremists. Yeah. That's why I be telling y'all when I be having to cover these people, we got to watch it together. I'm not watching these people multiple times. A lot of times these people, I don't even be knowing about some of the stuff they doing unless people email me and tell me. Yeah, I don't. All right, so I think Ultimate Gaming, you the person who also emailed me about Phil, right? So that video is for you. The Phil video I said I got ready, that's for you. So, all right, I'm probably going to drop it soon. So it's like, like I'm telling you, I can't promise it don't get struck down. And on top of that, I got to make sure I watch my channel because I don't want my channel to get deleted too also. But yeah, it might get struck down. But all right, I'm going to drop it. But anyway, and again, it might not get the traction you wanted to because, again, now that I've been flagged and I got stuff on my channel, that takes me out the algorithm. That's another reason why I didn't want to drop the video because it's like if I drop it, it might not get the views you expecting it to get because I'm outside the algorithm now. But you saying you want it, so I'm going to do that. But anyway, family, I'm ending this video here. Salute to everybody for watching my stream, all that other good stuff. And yeah, on that note, family, peace.